Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
We probably had it harder than any team in the country. Like we weren't sitting up in a resort anywhere, when we were on the road. We were at, a regular hotel, in JUCO gyms, in Division II gyms, and gyms in all kinds of other states that supposedly are our home court, So it was a tough year, and for these kids just to fight through and be able to play, it's big time on just who they are as people.
And as successful as it was to get to the finish line came yesterday. They hit the tape, and Lobo basketball season is over. That was Scott Padgett, the assistant coach, on with Hunter Green and Robert Portnoy on the UNM Radio Network over on News Radio KKOB. Lobo season comes to an end 85-77 in Las Vegas last night. First round, Mountain West Conference tournament. Fresno State beat them. Final record 6-16 overall. League record 2-15. And I will give them this: they went down fighting. They were in that game until the last 2 minutes, where they went cold. They played undermanned, undersized, and ultimately they just didn't have enough. They were just not as good as Fresno State with what they had. No big guys, but they fought. And but the bottom line is it's over, and hence the Paul Weir era is now over at the University of New Mexico. Good morning to you. Happy Thursday. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. How you living, man?
Living good. It was a moment last night where when it's all said and done, I appreciated the players' efforts that showed up, that fought to the end of the season, the effort, the energy. The small ball gave them some life at the end of the year. They made it tough on Fresno State. But ultimately, an era comes to an end, and we start wondering, what does the future hold?
Yeah, we've been wondering for a while what's next, but this one ends, and without a lot of ceremony. It would have been nice, I think, for those players to win for themselves. And I asked McQuatch Malawatch after the game last night, what were you playing for last night? Were you playing for you, for your coach, for pride, because you love the game, all of that, none of that? What were you playing for? And it sounded like all of it, right? They wanted to win for their coach. They have pride. They enjoy playing basketball. They wanted to win. I will tell you, it in the last couple of games, it sure as hell wasn't a group of guys who quit. I will give them 100% for effort yesterday. And, I watched a game last night where, man, that Jeremiah Francis that I watched yesterday was a whole different Jeremiah Francis than I watched the majority of the season. He was really good at times. I watched a team that was without a big, or at least they didn't play a big, and they held one of the best big guys in the conference to a frustrating 14 points. And they came late, and you could see Orlando Robinson was frustrated. I watched a senior who was out there playing, and guys playing for him. I watched a freshman flourish in Javante Johnson and Isaiah Marin. I watched, like for the first time, at least I said, you know what, there's a core of something. Obviously, they need a lot. But if you want to bring, and I don't know what the future holds for Byron Matos, who didn't make the trip, or Valdir Manuel, who made the trip and didn't play. I don't know what the future holds for any of these guys. But if you're going to tell me that there may be a core of Francis and Johnson and Singleton, and get me a score, and you got it. I don't know. Maybe you got something. Obviously, you got to add a lot. But I watched a team that played with pride last night, and I don't know what more you could have asked from this particular squad.
Well, especially since we've gotten to the point we've watched this team, we know who they are. We know they're just not a good basketball team, so it really does just fall on effort, energy. Are they going to play hard, finish the season the right way, especially with everything that's gone on with this basketball team, and then the announcement that their head coach was leaving after the season. And I think it does still say a lot about this coaching staff. And the things you hear from Dave Filipovich or Scott Padgett, since we haven't heard from Paul Weir since his statement, but there was still respect. And the coaching staff was able to hold it together. The players said, you know what, we still have something to play for, as Malawatch said last night. They could have thrown in the towel, and they didn't. So it feels like at least with what you want to see from a team. You got that, and like I said, I appreciate the players that showed up, their effort to play against Colorado State, to play against Fresno State this final week of the season and make you competitive.
To that point, I think that's right. In respect of, we're never going to know what happened. I wanted to ask McQuash last night, but maybe it's a little too soon for that. But I wanted to ask him, now that it's over, will you look back on this season and smile because of the experience? And maybe it's too soon, maybe it's too raw, right? And certainly the football team did, but it was different, man. As hard as it was for the football team, they were in one place, in one resort. They had the place because everything was shut down. Basically, I'd run to the place, and it was, I'm not telling you it was a vacation, but they had a resort, and they did it. These guys were bouncing around from Residence Inn to Comfort Inn from St. George, Utah to Lubbock to wherever. It was different. It was. And again, not an excuse for losing, because you're going to tell me the ladies did too, and you're right, and they won a championship. Chris Jans told me the other day, we're not on the air, but he said, you'll never know some of the stuff that went down. And I'm not going to ask, because, obviously he's not going to. But I'm sure with the Lobos, with the men, with the women, there's stuff that years later you're going to hear stories of no bleep, right? It's easy to sit here and say, boy, they had it tough. And again, it's not an excuse, but it certainly is an explanation. And of what went down. There were 4 programs in America, New Mexico and New Mexico State's men and women, who had to deal with this all year. And some were more talented than others. One's, the Aggie women won yesterday. The men play tonight. To your point on the coaching staff keeping it together, Pilipovich said last night, the assistant coach, said, Paul was always worried about us and checking on us. Maybe we should have checked in on him more. And I know I asked him that during the season. I said, how are you doing, right? And it's we'll never know. We're never going to know, because when you're going through it and you're the guy responsible for everybody, and Paul's a pretty conscientious guy, I think. And I always, somebody asked me yesterday about Paul. I said, I think Paul's smart, conscientious, he plans. He's not the most emotional guy, right? So I think Paul took a lot of the emotion out of it and was thinking analytically through this whole thing, and how do I take care of everybody? And I wonder if he took care of himself, and we'll that'll be something down the line. But you're right, to listen to the coaches and the players talk about him. As we put a ribbon on the Paul Weir era. That's going to be a big piece of it.
Yeah, it goes back to a lot of people thinking Paul Weir is a nice guy, but just when it comes to basketball, wasn't able to live up to the expectations. And this year, it was the perfect storm of bad things to happen for Lobo men's basketball, because this was a developmental team, and they didn't have a chance to develop just because you're not going to have that much court time. You're not going to have the extra time you want with this roster, and that really showed throughout the season, to where it got to the point where at least you're playing hard, but are you getting better at basketball? And then when you got a bunch of games under your belt, you finally started to see some players take a step forward. I thought Javonte Johnson played his best game of the season, the aggressiveness early. Isaiah Marin is a dude that you're like, yeah, you can, if you want to stick around, absolutely. You have an interesting backcourt combination with Francis and Singleton to develop.
I looked at, I watched them shoot. And some of their shots, some of the threes that they made 12 threes yesterday. 12 for 28. It's not bad. And some of them were pure, JJ. I mean, there were times where you watched, I thought Isaiah Marin and Francis. I mean, I thought it was the best game Francis played. I mean, you think I'm wrong on that?
No, it's just there was a level of aggressiveness that was nice to see out of this team early.
Yeah. 12 of 24 in contrast. Fresno State was 7 of 18 from three-point land. Rebound-wise, they got out-rebounded. And we can X and O this game if you want. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's over. I thought they had a nice game plan against Robinson, and they got him in foul trouble, and they played well. They lost the game. All right, here's what we're going to do today. We got a lot to do. Jerry Palm's going to be with us at 8:30. We're going to talk about this bubble that is Utah State, Boise State, and Colorado State are right on it. I mean, literally right on it. And I'm going to tell you, they all better win today. They all better win today, because if one of them loses, I think that one's out. And if they win, it doesn't guarantee them that they're in. You think I'm wrong there?
No, if they lose today, it's over. Because this
Yeah.
is the situation. Teams are still playing and winning. All of
Yeah.
a sudden,
Yeah.
you look over to the ACC, North Carolina and Duke starting to pick
Yeah.
off wins, improve their situations on the bubble. And it goes back to the whole, well, if you didn't make us play, you'd still be in the same spot if you didn't play those games last week.
Yeah.
Because you got to put a little bit more in your resume at the end.
Yeah, I think that's right. And just go win. Yeah, they both lost last week. But you got Duke winning yesterday, Syracuse winning yesterday. A lot of bubble teams. Now, Xavier lost, which probably knocked them out, I'm going to guess. We'll talk to Jerry about what he thinks about that. There's a ton to talk about. Aggies are getting ready. So here's what we're going to do. 2460610 is the number to get in. That's area code 505-2460610. Email Jeff at sportsanimalaBQ.com, JJ at sportsanimalaBQ.com. And on the Twitter, follow JJ. It's _JJ Buck. You can watch our program on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. Josh is producing on ProView Networks to produce that show for you. We got a ton of basketball to get through. I think fairly significant news out of Lobo football. Dak and Jerry show yesterday, if you want to get it. Never mind Tom and Jerry. Dak and Jerry was interesting yesterday. You got a pro day today. Aggies can play sports at home. The Players is underway. There's something for everybody. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Ramos, rise and fire. He's fouled.
You know, he used to coach for Del Norte. And
Here's Voss all the way with the finish. He'll get the. Behind the back of the dribble. Tries to go up with the right hand. He changed hands in midair. And Hotnet sent it away. Wynn doing a really good job denying Chavez. DC hasn't got the ball. Oh, Yeku. Oh. Working against Watson. Oh, look at the spin move.
Ball's loose. DJ Bustos brings it up. Bars Tompkins, alley-oop. How about it? That was redunculous.
Turnover. Cable to the big fella might try to jam on home.
I'll just get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's
Hill's
what
gonna
he'll
just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's going to fire at the buzzer, and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much. Tie in the district. Inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this, stripped, stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another
steal
one.
at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we could see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
I'll jump on this grenade. This was me, because James just said, I'm so proud of the Pokes, Jeff. As I recall, there was a co-host on this award-winning show Wednesday who said the Cowgirls were tired and had no chance. Fresno State was just too good on offense. It's from James. Yeah, that was me. And I was mistaken. Cowboys, the 7th seed Wyoming, gets the auto bid out of the Mountain West. For the women, they won the women's championship, 59-56, beat Fresno State last night, JJ. I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised.
It's just an unbelievable run for Wyoming. They opened their first 2 games, offensive juggernaut, set a tournament record 3-point shots made, knocking off UNLV. And then back-to-back games against Boise State and Fresno State put on a defensive clinic. And they almost threw it away. They were inbounding the basketball with 18 seconds left, and they threw it right to Fresno State. Fresno State goes down, gets an opportunity under the basket, misses. Wyoming comes back the other way, misses 2 free throws. Fresno State gets another opportunity. Miss. Wyoming hits 2 free throws, so it's a 3-point game. They get the ball in to Haley Cavender, Mountain West Player of the Year, pulls up for 3, blocked.
No.
Good night. Game over, Wyoming, Mountain West tournament champion.
All right, so who, if there was going to be an at-large, and I don't think there is, would it be Fresno State or New Mexico?
You'd think it would be Fresno State team.
They beat New Mexico twice.
New Mexico twice. So if you're holding on to that 0.0001% chance, you would have wanted Fresno State to win last night.
Yeah, so I think that puts New Mexico in the NIT. All right, 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Let's go to it. Rudy, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Rudy.
Well, let's see. Remember in the 70s when something bad happened, we said we got ripped off? Remember that word?
Yeah, I think that word's still around.
Yeah, well, Tuesday night was a ripoff. I mean, did you watch the game last night?
Did I watch last night's game? I did.
Wyoming, Fresno State?
No, JJ, you watch it. I didn't watch last night's game. No.
Okay. Last night, Fresno State shot 6 free throws. How many did they shoot Tuesday night, JJ? 20.
A lot more than
Wyoming
6.
shot 8 free throws last night. UNM shot 8 Tuesday night. That was the difference in the game. It had nothing to do with the teams, and I'm pretty upset about the officiating Tuesday night and what they did, because last night they didn't call all the flops and the fouls that the Cavender twins are famous for. And they didn't send them to the free throw line. And they didn't let Maddie Udi do what she does and Mata do what she does. And so if you're going to officiate a game and let it be an alley fight, then let it be an alley fight. But if you're going to let one team try – UNM was trying to play basketball Tuesday. Fresno State was trying to alley fight. Last night it was an alley fight, and Wyoming showed you if you don't get the calls, you don't win. And I'm sorry, but this was a horrible year for the Mountain West, how they did this, because now they're going to get one team in the tournament. Fresno State's not going. Fresno State doesn't have the record New Mexico did.
No, Wyoming's going to get in as a 16. Yeah, and Wyoming's going to be a 16 seed.
Yeah, well, they're going to play UConn in the first game or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So I don't think the Mountain West did themselves any favors, and they really need to look hard at officiating. I mean, when one team shoots 20 free throws and the other team who finished first in the conference, and I watched UNM women all year, I didn't think that they were particularly a fouling team. They didn't have that reputation. Antonia Anderson had 3 fouls on her before she could blink. Shea Magruder, Jaden De La Cerda, who hardly ever fouled out. You know, we had all our starters in foul trouble, and so you have to back off, and you can't play defense, and it didn't matter because they still called the fouls. So I wasn't very happy about that, but we'll see what happens. New Mexico is solid for a WNIT bid, and maybe they can parlay that into something good. Once again, the Cavender twins didn't get apparently what they wanted is to win that auto bid, so we'll see what happens next year. You know, with Coach Weir and everything that happened, I mean, when you look up fall on your sword in the dictionary, there's a picture of Paul, because that's what he did. And if it was my job on the line, I would have found a way around it. I would have figured out a way around it. I would have done whatever I needed to do to get that team ready, because it's obvious in looking at them last night, they had some pieces. They just never had any chance to gel.
What do you mean you would have got them ready? What would you? Yeah, no, he did. What would you? What do you mean you would have done? You'd have got them ready.
I figured out a way to get practice in. If I have to cut corners, if I have to do whatever, because that's what every other coach did. That's why Boise got off to such a hot start. They had 75 practices under their belt. I'd have just dared the governor to stop me. I'd have dared the department to stop me.
Paul wasn't willing to do that.
It's my job on the line. It's how I feed my family. It's how I take care of my family. And Paul got sacrificed at the altar of this pandemic and Lobo basketball. And I'll never forget him. He's a great guy. Anybody who's gotten to know Paul Weir personally realizes that it had nothing to do with his ability to coach basketball. It was the circumstances that overwhelmed this program, and people here can't handle losing. And I get that. I don't like losing. I certainly don't like New Mexico basketball men's team losing, you know. So, are we spoiled? Sure. So it's Eddie's job to go out and get a coach, and I'm just going to say it. Tim Miles is not the coach. I cannot understand why Tim Miles' name keeps rising to the top of the list. Maybe somebody can explain it to me.
I'll tell you what I think, because I think I agree with you, Rudy, and I think, JJ, you and I think we're on the same page on this. Tim Miles had some success in this league. Now, JJ, tell me if the numbers are right. He, in 5 years at Colorado State, finished 9th, 8th, 5th, 4th, and 4th, had 1 NCAA berth, went to Nebraska, where I'm not going to hold Nebraska against him. Hell, he got paid. Nobody wins at Nebraska. Now, he goes back a long way with David Williams, who's the deputy athletic director, and him and David evidently are tight. And David's really the number 2 guy on this search, and is Eddie's number 2. And so that's that's why there's and Tim Miles is coming hard. I've been told by a number of coaches on this that Tim Miles is going hard after this job, that he's been wanting this, he's been eyeing this for a year.
Oh, come on. Give me a break. Tim Miles is not the guy. He never won in the conference.
I didn't
He's
tell you
not
I
going
think
to win
he
here
is.
in New Mexico. And it's a bad choice. It's not going to capture the attention of this community. If you're trying to sell season tickets next year,
I think that's right.
Your season tickets are going to tank. He never did. What's his record against New Mexico when he coached at Colorado State?
I don't know. I'll find
Did
that.
he do
I don't have
one
that.
time? I think he was 1 in whatever in his 5 years. I don't.
Yeah.
You know.
You and I are on the same page. JJ.
It would be. Finally, real quick, Teton Salties today at Pro Day. I wish him the best. That's a guy that's going to make it in the NFL. He has done everything that he needs to do. And I had a meeting with him yesterday just to wish him luck because I used to do some NFLPA stuff. And if there was ever a guy that could translate from tackle to guard in the NFL, it's him. He's going to have a career. He just has a superior strength and mobility for a guy that's 6'6", 320 pounds. If he runs a sub 540 today, he's going to get drafted. So best of luck to Teton.
All right, man. Be well. Where are you on Tim Miles, JJ? Because I know that's the name that surfaces on everybody's list, and some people think it's his to lose.
Tim Miles feels fine. Like it's a situation where you're looking around. What do I need? I don't really want to get the fancy version of this, so I'll just get the Tim Miles version.
It's fine. Yeah, fine. Yep. I think a lot of people. By the way, Rudy was salty today. Boy, was he fired up. I'll ask you on the first part of his call after the break, but the Tim Miles thing, I think you're right. Fine. I don't think, to Rudy's point, it's going to get this fan base fired up. And I don't know how good of a coach he is. Tim Miles, by every account, is a really good guy. Really good guy. Funny guy, a gregarious guy, an outgoing guy. Really good with the media. Was always good with the media, right? The media in this league loved him because he was great. He was quotable. And he had some success at Colorado State. Is it fine or nothing? That's not really what you're looking for, is it? I don't know, man. I just that's the one that's baffled me a bit too. I think he's a good coach. Okay. I guess I'm going to need to be sold if that's the way they go. I want to ask you when we get back on what you thought the officiating was, because Rudy's really upset about the officiating in the women's game. We'll do that. 505-246-0610. We're going to get into the Dak and Jerry show. What your thoughts on the Paul Weir era is over now. It ended last night. What your thoughts are? Rudy said I'd have done some things differently. I'd have made sure we practiced. I'd have gotten a gym and I'd have been ready. Never and let the governor come shut me down. It's easy to say. But how are you going to get that done? 505-246-0610 is how you get to us. The elements on the road, whether it's winter, spring, it doesn't matter. It's not good for your vehicle. Your paint chips. There's dirt, there's sand, there's salt that sits there for months. It chips your paint. And the problem is you don't want to take care of it. Or you don't have time to take care of it. I don't either, man. I'm busy. I'm working a bunch of jobs. You are too. Call On the Spot Automotive Detailing and have them come out and take care of it for you. You don't want to go to those big car washes. On the Spot Automotive Detailing comes to you. I don't know where they are. That's okay. They know where I am. Whenever and wherever it is convenient for you, On the Spot Automotive Detailing will come and give your vehicle a thorough cleaning inside and out when they're done. The stink and the spills and the stains and the pet hair and the French fries and the junk and the garbage and, there's that I hadn't found in 8 months. It's all gone. It looks and feels and smells and drives like the day you took it off the lot. Detailing is a big deal, and On the Spot Automotive Detailing does it better than anybody. And they come to you, spend an hour or more, and they get the job done right. And it's a great gift. If you're looking for that gift for a person who's got everything, On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Give them a call, 505-859-2859. That's how to get a hold of them. That's 505-859-2859, or visit their website, otsdetailing.com.
I-40.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand.
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Another steal by Davino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming. The lob, tag by Osi, the one-hand hammer.
Put up. And a drive from Parham. Second field goal, he's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off. Romero, a three for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good... Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, Twine!
Overall, in his career, has a record of 187 and 202. So he's got an overall losing record as a head coach. And I got this email from, who did it come from? Where did it come from? Somebody sent me the record of Tim Miles, 187. But at Colorado State, Tim Miles was 71 and 88, which is a worse record than. Oh, here it is. It's from Les. He said Richie McKay, when he came here from Colorado State, Richie McKay had a 37 and 23 record at Colorado State. Tim Miles. So JJ in his 5 seasons. And then he spent 7 at Nebraska. Tim Miles' record was 71 and 88. At Nebraska, he actually had a winning record, 116 and 114. Went to the NIT his last 2 years. And so I guess the momentum on Tim Miles is, well, look, the program was getting better the last couple years. I don't know. They went to the NIT. Second year, he went to the second round. That second year, he went to the second round of the NIT. They went in at 17 and 17. They were 6 and 14 in the league, finished 13th in the Big Ten. Went to the NIT. He got fired. He went to the NCAA his second year back in 2013, 2014 with a 19 and 13 overall record. Okay. And I'm getting Rudy his numbers on what he was against UNM. JJ, before we move, and I'm going to go to the phones. What did you think of the officiating? Rudy was really upset with the officiating the women's game. Did you think there was a discrepancy certainly in the numbers? I thought it was physical. I thought there were a lot of times I'm like, really? Did you think it was slanted?
Well, the one thing with Fresno State and the Cavendish sisters in the backcourt, they're in constant attack mode. So they are always getting into the lane, putting their bodies into opposing defenders. So they put you in challenging situations. So watching the game, and with Nikki, obviously, we're like, man, the foul trouble is an issue for New Mexico, but we didn't necessarily feel it was one where the refs were taking away the game. It's just more about the style of play. But it was a game in which you got the classic, all right, a lot of whistles early, not the same amount in the second half, so it kind of evened itself out. And ultimately, when it came down to it, foul trouble in the second half didn't hurt the Lobos, and they were in there to the very end.
All right, 505-246-0610. Let's go. Dan, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hi, Dan.
Morning,
Hello,
guys.
Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, remember that movie back in the day? Calm down, Francis, or settle down, Francis. So
Settle down, Francis. It was one.
I'm a Rudy, man, but you know what? He's a passionate dude, man. He cares about UNM, and I did a 180 in about a minute there because I was just going to call in and try and hammer him, and that's just not fair, man, because he really cares about UNM, and you know, the passion is there, and I'm not one to complain about officiating ever, because I've had my stints with the officials, and I've had to coach my team from outside the building and all of that, and it's just not, you know, it's hindsight is just not the way to go. You know, they had a good season, they got beat by a better team, they just did. And Rudy, you keep that passion going, brother, and I apologize for something that I was going to say, and I'm not going to say it, and go Lobos. You guys have a great day.
See you, Dan. Rudy's going to love on his team, and I think you should get as many of those fans as you can, to be honest with you, because he's just going to love on his team. It's what it is. I'm looking through in his last year. Tim Miles split with New Mexico. The second to last year, he split with New Mexico. They were 0-2 in 2009, 2010. In his first year in 2007 and 2008. He lost there, and I think he got swept by New Mexico there too. So, got swept 0-2. So, had a losing record against New Mexico. I don't know, JG. I think that Tim Miles' name's going to be in it till the end, and I'm going to tell you, while I'm not calling it right now, it will not surprise me if that's the guy standing there putting on a red blazer.
You're going to hear a lot of Tim Miles. Yes, we're going to talk about him. He's going to be in this race, and you look at his time at Colorado State, and you start running it down. You know, last 2 seasons he was 19-13, 9-7, 20-12, 8-6. Those were the 2 fourth-place finishes, which ultimately propelled him to the Nebraska job. And it just seems when you're thinking about Tim Miles, and what level are you getting to? It feels like, all right, you're getting a stable coach, as we said, fine. Might not ignite the fan base, but are you looking at someone that potentially is going to settle things down? What does his recruiting look like overall? Because when you think about Nebraska and basketball, you don't necessarily think of those two things hand in hand. So when it comes to a more basketball-minded area, the level of recruits he's going to be looking at, what kind of players is he going to bring in? Because ultimately, I get it. It's not one. It's like we've been there, done that. We've seen Tim Miles, good but not great. Or is it, all right, second time around, he can rekindle some of that success late? Doesn't excite me, but yeah, you're right. Fans need to be ready to hear the name a lot.
Yeah, I just, and it's going to be a sell. Eddie's going to have to say, all right, here's a guy with a losing overall record. In his last 2 stops at Colorado State and at Nebraska, which would encompass 12 seasons, he's got a losing record of 187 and 202. Overall, his coaching record is 399 and 334. It's a winning record, a 544 winning percentage. Before that, with Colorado State, he was at North Dakota State and he was at Southwest Minnesota State, and he won in those places. But again, I don't know that he's ever won a league championship. Has he? I don't have league champ. What I'm looking at doesn't tell me what the Bison, but I mean, Southwest Minnesota, he finished third. He did win once in Division II. He won in 2001 at Southwest Minnesota State, launched him into the North Dakota State job. But other than that, I mean, I'm looking between, and I get it. The Big Ten is a really tough league, JJ. But in 5 years at Colorado State and 7 years at Nebraska, the highest his teams have ever finished in a league standings is 4th. That's a 12-year sample. Well, Jeff, it's Nebraska. They're playing Ohio State and Michigan and Michigan State. I get it. I get it. The fact is, in Colorado State, well, Jeff, I mean, that New Mexico was really good, and San Diego State was becoming good, and I mean, the league was, that was before Utah left, and it was okay. All I'm telling you is, the numbers don't lie. The best here's in the last 12 seasons as a coach, Colorado State, he finished 9th, 8th, 5th, 4th, and 4th. At Nebraska, he finished 10th, 4th, 12th, 11th, 12th, 4th, and 13th. That's all. The numbers don't lie. Now, he may be a really good coach. I think he's a good coach. To your point, JJ, fine. Is he the guy that's going to excite you? Is he the best that's available to you, or is he tight with the deputy AD? Yeah, this could be a tough sell if that's where they go.
Ultimately, you're going to get a coach if it's from a power program that's coming in off a little bit of struggles. But some of the other guys, at least, when we throw Frank Martin's name out there, a few more NCAA tournament appearances, Final Four run that you can sell. Archie Miller, I know it's a name that hasn't been out there, but someone I would be very intrigued if Indiana makes the move. You go back to his time at Dayton and what he was able to do. So, yeah, you're going to get a guy that if he becomes available from a power program, it's because it probably hasn't been working the last couple of years. But a lot of them, have something to really throw your hat into. And Smiles, while he has that Mountain West experience, he's been fine. It would just be more about diving into what kind of players was he getting in his program, who was he able to get at Nebraska, what did those teams look like, because that would be the next step. You start diving into it, kind of the players that he was able to get, and because that's what it's going to be. The relationships you have, players you bring in, you got to mix. You need to hit on some transfers, and then you got to keep some players around to develop.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We'll talk with Jerry Palm coming up at the bottom of the hour, see what he's hearing on the coaching front. I think he's way more into the bubble watch, but we'll get there as well. That's coming up at 8:30 this morning.
You're on mute.
I am. Let me tell you about F45 training. We're sitting here talking about being fine, I'm okay. How about you make yourself feel good? Well, F45 training is the gym for you. It's a mix of circuit and high-intensity training in 45-minute classes. I love it. No wasted time. You're going to go into the gym. All the stations are going to be set up. Got the monitors on the wall to help you with the exercises, so you're not going to get lost. You're always going to go what's next. And you have some awesome certified trainers on site to hype you up and help you with all the exercises. F45 training is located at 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's really good access from wherever you are coming from the city. And it's a different class every single day. I'm looking forward to trying a new one this Saturday. Yes, Saturday and Sunday morning classes as well. The gym is open 7 days a week, so you can find a class that fits your schedule. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app so you can get a sense of what the gym is all about. And you can sign up for a 7-day free trial. So you can go in there and you're going to realize, what, I like this atmosphere, I'm comfortable, and I'm ready to kickstart my fitness. Or if you're someone that's looking to challenge yourself to get to the next level, this gym is for you. All fitness levels. The classes work for anyone. Check them out. I'm excited. I got my classes booked this weekend. That's why you need to book your classes still so they can manage class size and keep everything as safe as possible to allow you to get back to the gym and get healthy. F45training.com or the F45 app. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45 Training.
You could
back into him.
Ooh.
Little kid.
They leave it one more time to Ed Hammer.
Look at this. They're going to score again. Look at this.
Up top. Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak. Ahead of the pack to Davina Lovato. Up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Wants another!
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores. Got into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer from Murillo. Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. Gonna settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side push. Shot on and goal. Deflected in. No.
Dorian's gonna go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos got it. Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Getting stripped. Dalion stripped him. From Highland the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it. What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbayosi throws it down.
As Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinals fly. To the other side, provides some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out. See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. An 8. 2 receivers at the top. Harris has all day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man. Touchdown. Wildcats. Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Webskowski on the sideline. Hasta mañana. He's off to the races. Touchdown, Clovis.
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman. He's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's grabbed. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me, Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow.
Ball crossing over here on Ballard. To Marin on the left wing. Nice shot fake. Step to his right. Pulls the three. It's good. Isaiah Marin with 4 triples. Give him a dozen points. Lobos within 7. 3-minute mark.
Robert Portnoy on the UNM Radio Network. Lobos lose yesterday. First round Mountain West Conference Tournament. Fresno State ends the season 85-77. The Paul Weir era has come to an end, and we're taking your thoughts on that. There's so much going on today. And we'll look back on the Paul Weir era. It's kind of weird, JJ. You know, typically, I remember when Craig was out, there was a lot of emotion. There was a lot of emotion. This isn't. It's very typical of kind of reminiscent of who Paul is. Paul's not. I was having a conversation with somebody down in Cruces who knew Paul well when he was down there yesterday, and this person was telling me that that they were giving me their perspective on Paul, and I think it hit on, right? There's so many conversations we've had with Paul over the year on landmarks, milestones, big things. He's like, I don't really think about that. I don't get into the emotional part of it. There isn't a lot of emotion with Paul, is there? Right? It's always been that nice guy, analytical, cerebral, thoughtful, but there's like not a lot of emotion. And when something like this comes to an end, typically you get the emotion. It comes out. McQuatch talking about it. Pilipovich talking about it. I think that's a big reason why Paul probably has kind of dodged the whole speaking about it thing and is hoping just to slip off into the night.
Yeah, and I believe that he didn't want to become a distraction during the last couple weeks. It's inevitable. You just said you're moving on from your head coach. Questions are going to come about that situation, given the fact they still at that point in time, had games to play to finish their season. But I think it probably helped Paul a lot this season. Just be that manager, help get this team through it. And ultimately, it came down to it. They just weren't a good enough basketball program. But Paul were the person. I don't think there's many people out there, unless he accidentally looked like sideways at you when you ran into him at the coffee shop and he didn't acknowledge you, that think he's a bad guy. But it's business, and it's where is the program going? What do you think the program can do? And at a point where people stepped up and said, hey, we're ready to help you guys take that next step. And then so you have the buyout, and here we go.
All right, yeah, basically we're done with it. All right, do you realize it was a year ago today that Rudy Gobert tested positive? And I think it was the same day, right, that Tom Hanks was down in Australia and he had the positive COVID test, and the COVID kind of became real to common folk America, right? And the next day was when all of our everything shut down here. It was a year ago today where that NBA game was called off in the arena, and we're all going, what the hell is going on around here? And then I remember 1 year ago today, actually a year ago tomorrow, because it was a Thursday, but it was the 12th, where we were ready to go up to Los Alamos, first lacrosse game of the season. Addie was all pumped. There was her school had shut down the day before because there was a contact tracing for COVID. Somebody on campus had been near somebody who might be positive, and so they shut the school down. And we're all ready to go up to Los Alamos, and 3 hours before they shut it down. And this is, it was a year, like literally a year ago. And I remember she said, yeah, they said take an extra week and a half on spring break, and we'll see you after spring break. We'll come back. And I remember her asking me in January, am I still on spring break, Dad? Like, what the hell is going on, right? 1 year, man. 1 year. And we're watching all these commemorations, certainly not celebrations, but the commemorations on all the TV shows. And I don't know how much you've watched or thought about it, but a freaking year of this, and what we've gone through and learned and dealt with is amazing.
Yeah, it's felt long, but yet here we are a year later, and it's almost been like a blink of the eye. But to be at this point and see everything that we've gone through, it actually is amazing if you want to look at it from various levels, all the stuff that we've dealt with in the past year. But to finally be at a point where there's like legit normalcy, like we're looking ahead to things, you can go to outdoor events, sports are back, little by little, it is nice to be in this situation at this moment.
Yeah, and we can certainly look back and get your thoughts on that. We're going to get into the Dak and Jerry show when we come back. We'll also talk with Jerry Palm coming up at 8:30, different Jerry, and we'll talk about the NCAA tournament and the bubble and Selection Sunday coming up. It's the opening drive. We're on ProView Networks where Josh is producing. Mike has got you on the radio side on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Creates space. He gives it off to Rivas for the three, and he buries it. They'll be coming in soon. Double pick set for Avalos. Goes to the right. Avalos puts it up high. Window. Scores it as foul. Brought here by Lewis all the way, coast to coast, and finish. What a...
Around the screen. Against White. Step back. It's blocked. JB with the block.
In transition. Ahead to hit on. Hit on for the two-hand hammer.
Seconds to go. They've got a shot. They have a chance. And it's put up. And it's good. What a three that is by Jalen.
Hito puts it up. Rebound Cowboys. Right side David Hall. Thank you very much. Here come the Cowboys. Domino Lovato lays it up. Missed it. Hey, how about it? Thank you, Lusses. Thank you very much, Raquan Mitchell. Clock at 6. They get it. Barnes Tompkins fires. Yes! Pass up court. This for the win. Blocked by DJ Bustos. Cowboys win. Cowboys win. Lovato driving. They're going to count it. There goes. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez, good spin. Takes it.
Ramos, nice jump stop too.
This is the opening drive with two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and J.J. Bach. Don't sweat the technique.
Oh, I was waiting for where you push the button.
Most anything that I've ever been involved in that ended up being special, I overpaid for. Every time to the end. Anytime I've tried to get a bargain, I got just that. It was a bargain in a lot of ways and not up to standard.
It's Jerry Jones. I don't know if that's a compliment to Dak. I don't know what the hell that was at the Dak and Jerry show yesterday. And I will give you this. I like Dak's suit. I thought he looked good. Like he went out and looked like he got paid and bought him a nice that looked good. I don't know what that was. If you're Dak and you're sitting there and do you feel good that you just took the guy for more than you're worth, or is he saying you're not worth what I paid you? Like, how are you supposed to take that if you're sitting there?
There were a lot of shots under the table at Dak Prescott from Jerry Jones during that press conference. Dak signed the contract. Hopefully it's signed, sealed, and delivered, so that guaranteed money is his and it's not going anywhere. But my goodness, we get it, Jerry. You paid your quarterback a lot of money. You didn't have to if you didn't want to. Stop taking shots at the dude.
Hopefully he signed the check. You know, I talked to a really good buddy of mine who's been with a company for a long time, and I was talking about 2 weeks ago, and he's getting wooed by another company and going to go over, and he said, well, I don't know if there's a signing bonus, but they've already given me a check that's bigger than anything I've ever made in 1 year. He's like, and I signed it, dude, and I've already spent some of it. So, I mean, I hope Dak has already, cashed that check. I don't know. Do you sit there and feel that the guy's disrespecting you? You're like, whatever, dude. I got your money. You just gave me $66 million.
No doubt, right? The contract is there. He's paid, but still, for Jerry, just keep mentioning the money. Keep mentioning the money. Yeah, you paid a lot for your quarterback, but guess what? You don't have to worry about that. If things go your way, you're set, and you can now focus on building the rest of your football team, because there's other ways to put football teams together. And you're going to have to pay a quarterback a little bit of money at some point in time.
All right, so I don't know the context of this, and this is on me. I didn't have a chance yesterday to watch the entirety of the press conference. I've seen that clip many times. So I'm going to ask you, and I don't know if you know this, because I think context matters. Was that in response to a money question? Because you say, he's talking about the money. Everybody's talking about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, we all are. And so I'm going to – I don't want to assume, but – if that was in response to, Jerry, you paid a lot of money, whatever, then he's got to respond with an answer about the money, correct? Now, he doesn't have to say I overpaid the guy and whatever, but it would make more sense to me if it was in response to a question regarding the money, as opposed to just throwing it out there, well, I overpaid this guy, and every time I overpay, it's something special, and when I underpay, right? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, but he still took shots even talking about the money.
No doubt.
To Dak Prescott. Like, the conversation's going to be about that, because it's what we're awed by. The guaranteed money, what the cap numbers look like in the final 2 seasons on Dak Prescott's deal. But ultimately, Jerry, does it come down, do you believe this guy can help your franchise win? Then if so, you got him locked up for 4 years. Take a deep breath. I'm sure your money's going to be fine. You're still the Dallas Cowboys, whether you win or not. You're going to be ranking in the dough when people come back to your building, the other events that you have in your building. It'll be all right.
Yeah, I just all right. What about what Dak had to say? I mean, just sitting there. I guess if you're Dak, you know what? You want to take your shots at me? Go ahead, big boy.
I cashed the check, sucker.
I won. I got everything I want. I mean, I got everything I want. I got the no trade clause. I got a 4-year deal instead of 5. I'm 26 or 27, so at 31 I get to do this again. And if you want me, this is going to be peanuts compared to the next time we're sitting here in my new suit and you're talking about overpaying me, because I'm going to take even more. I get another bite at the apple. Like, if you're Dak and you're sitting there, I guess you got to take it. The whole scenario is weird, dude. The whole thing with that dog and pony show was weird to me.
You got to go perform. And Dak Prescott has performed. Unfortunately, the record hasn't quite been there, which is why we've had this discussion over the entire offseason. What is he actually worth? The player is worth a lot of money, but now the team has to be good, and he's got to raise that level. He's got to overcome a defense that's not going to be great next year. Yeah, they're going to try to add some pieces, but I still think it's a unit that's going to struggle. So this offense has to be wow. It has to be one where you say, well, Dallas, yeah, they might have struggles here, but you don't want to mess with them offensively. That's what they're going to succeed, and that's all the pressure now that is on Dak Prescott now that he signed that contract. But it's still a place you want to be, man. There's so many teams out here this season going, I don't know if we like our quarterback. Oh, we need a better quarterback. This is a good quarterback. Whether you think he's a 10th best quarterback, 11th, whatever, Dak Prescott has shown you he can play at a high level in this league. And when you have that taken care of and then you can put your focus to everything else, you're in a pretty good position. And that's where Dallas is right now.
Cowboy fan, how you feeling? I mean, you've been through this crap for so long, Mike, and I know, like, you want to do this in the second segment. You were done talking local sports an hour and a half ago, and we weren't even on the air yet. Could I play the Dak stuff? Could I play the Jerry stuff? Could I play the Dak stuff? Could I play the Jerry stuff? All right, so here you are, giddy boy. How you feeling about this whole thing? Finally getting it done and watching your owner talk that way about that, and that's your quarterback.
I feel good. I mean, I think Jerry
feel good.
I think Jerry's straight to the point. He's not gonna, he's not gonna kind of cut the corners, and I think he wants everyone to know that okay, I overpaid, but we got to get it done, and I'm willing to overpay, kind of like they did for Zeke, but let's put it all together. Let's make something special out of it. And I mean, I'm excited. I think 4 years is the perfect time to give Dak his time to see what he can do before that next contract to, give him even more money. So if he wins a Super Bowl or two, give him even more money. If he doesn't,
that's a good thing. If you're talking about having to pay the dude more money when he's 31, it means you're doing something correct.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I agree with you. I'm asking, this is my whole point with when coaches leave. So he's using you as a stepping stone. He leaves. You shake his hand, pat him on the back, say good luck because you're in a better place than you were before. If you're in a position where you got to give him a bigger contract in 4 years, he's done well for you. Tell me how it makes sense. What's the benefit of sitting there and saying, if anybody's going to take advantage of me financially, I'm glad it's the guy sitting to my right.
It's just a reminder, like, hey, we went above and beyond on our end, so you best step up.
All right.
But it's also Jerry Jones, man. Do you think that dude's going to go in a press conference and not have some weird extended answer to a question that you could really answer with, like, oh, we're happy with the deal. Yeah, we had to work some things out, but it's business and we got it done. No, he's going to start talking about his experience one time trying to buy a used Honda that didn't work out, or mosquitoes, or you name it. Is a Jerry Jones
Honda
quote.
Vulture in the desert.
Yeah.
A vulture in the desert. It's like circumcising a mosquito. My favorite, circumcising a mosquito is the best one of all of them, right? It's like circumcising a mosquito.
Oh, it comes out of left field. You're like, what?
Yeah. No, I think those are great. Like, to me, it's a hell of a lot better than if anybody's going to take advantage of me financially. I'm glad it's the guy sitting next to me. Okay, Jerry, you paid a lot.
Oh, I just want to know what other things he paid for that he didn't get the value of. That's what I started thinking about. Like, my follow-up question had been like, so, Jerry, what was it that you invested in and you didn't get the bang for your buck?
Yeah, well, and I'm sure it's interesting because who is he talking about? Is he talking about what bargain quarterback is he talking about, or what was he talking about? Drew Bledsoe? Was he talking about, to your point,
are you talking about football anymore at this point in time? What are we discussing here, Jerry?
Yeah, I think more importantly, Dak said he's healthy, and you and I have sat here and talk about a lot of things. His goal is a parade in Dallas, and I think that's great. Football-wise, moving forward-wise, now that it's finally freaking done, do we feel better about this now? As far as your healthy quarterback, you got your guy. There's no reason. Micah, you weren't here. You were here yesterday when JJ said, I think they should contend in the NFC East. I'm like, contend? They should win the NFC East. They shouldn't contend in this damn division against Washington and the Giants and the Eagles. All those teams are in disarray. They should win this damn division.
Easily win this division. Then shore up that defense, and you're actually a contender in the playoffs. But let's slow down the roll real quick until that happens. But if Dak Prescott wouldn't have gotten hurt, that would have been the Cowboys right there in that wild card spot instead of the Redskins. But
I don't know, what was the record with Dak? What was the record again when Dak Prescott got hurt? 1-4, 1-5. It's not like they were killing it now. It's so easy to say that with absolute affirmation. I'm not certain that I buy it completely.
They finished the season better with Dak Prescott, which is
I think I believe that, but I don't know. It's not like they were out killing it before he got hurt.
But it wasn't a Dak thing. And that's why I'm all in. I believe in this offense coming back. And this team, he got guaranteed money, better guarantee you a division championship.
All right. Well, 505-246-0610. Cowboy fan, it's yours if you want it. 505-246-0610. Come on in, and that's your quarterback. Jerry Palm's going to be with us bottom of the hour. We're going to talk to him about the bubble. Selection Sunday is Sunday. This Sunday, like 3 days from now, 3 days from now, CBS Sports bracketologist is going to spend some time with us coming up at the bottom of the hour. Who's protecting your home? Who is watching your home? I hope it's the good guys and not the bad guys. My home, IPS watches. Every day they're out in front. Sometimes Addie goes for a run and waves at them. Sometimes I had somebody come by to drop something off the other day. They're like, the IPS guy's sitting out front. I'm like, yep, nope, that's how it is. Go out of town, there they are, picking up the mail, the newspaper, rolling the garbage cans to the curb and back on garbage day, doing exterior checks, protecting what's important. International Protective Service is local. They are not selling out. They are not going anywhere, and they care about your home and your business security. Don't wait until something bad happens. Trust International Protective Service and their home security and their business security, their armed, trained security officers to protect what's important to you. You see it every day. You hear about it. Crime in our city is a problem. Give yourself that peace of mind and protect what's important to you. International Protective Service, I've trusted them for years. I will for years to come, and I strongly suggest you give them a call. No contracts, no long-term commitments. 505-897-2420 is how to get a hold of them. 505-897-2420 or visit ipsglobal.com.
You have to be up in 5 hours.
Shoot, they'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
There's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go. His
Ford driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good. Pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalan wants to put it down. Here comes Screechers Brown. You can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Gershon in transition. 3-on-2. Gershon going to go all the way. Whoa, Morgan. Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy. And it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay,
I got you.
Measurement. I mean,
Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. And looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
Throw it. Looking. Here comes the run. Step it up. Javier now running around. Being chased. Looks across. Throws it up and wide open. Ball is caught. Touchdown. Siembieda.
I'm healthy. As I said, I control what I can control. I followed the doctor's orders the whole time. Put in my own work ethic to it. And as you said, you saw me walking out here. I've been on that field back there. I'm healthy. I'm getting close. But I'll be ready when it matters.
Dak Prescott, that's your quarterback. Yeah! Your overpaid quarterback, according to Jerry. Taking advantage of Jerry.
Poor Jerry.
Poor Jerry. Jerry had to go to Taco Bell last night and eat off the value meal.
Maybe that's why Jerry was caught at a gas station a couple weeks ago buying $6
right.
wine. Can't afford the good stuff anymore.
Can't afford the good stuff anymore. $6, $2 chuck. Yep, he can't go to Chamberlain's anymore. He's going through Taco Bell getting a steak taco.
He's going to have to bum his friend's Costco membership. Can I go with you to pick up some stuff?
Hey, McCarthy, I let you stay at my house. Can I go stay at your place?
Well, can I sleep on your couch?
Remember that sleepover? Well, time to return the favor.
Hey, can I have a bowl of cereal? Yeah. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. All right, let me get you some emails. They come in, Jeff at sports@abq.com, JJ at sports@abq.com. This is from Tellis, said, I didn't watch the game, but when I saw on the stat stream that my favorite player, Makwach Malwatch, missed his first 5 shots, I knew Lobo basketball was in trouble, even not knowing the score. The entire offense revolves around him, so he just can't have an off game on a club that was so depleted. P.S. If Francis returns next season, can someone check him out a uniform that fits? It looks like he's wearing a schmedium and it's too small. He likes the form-fitting uniform. He didn't have a great shooting night, but other guys had good shooting nights. JJ, what did you make of, and I asked Dave Pilipovich this afterwards in the press conference, they brought Kurt Wegscheider and Valdir Manuel. They did not play. And the only reason we knew they brought him is because Jeff Grammer happened to see him on the plane. So I asked about the decision. I said you had 2 scholarship athletes who were there and did not play. What was the thought? And basically, they were all in. They chose to go on the trip knowing they wouldn't play. So, just like everything else with this team this season, we've got to read between the lines, right, and just read the tea leaves and decipher. So what I took out of this, and I don't know your interpretation, that they were disciplined. That they didn't play in the Colorado State game. There were 4 athletes, Matos and Brown, who didn't make the trip, Wegscheider and Manuel, who did. Obviously, for whatever reason, they didn't go to Colorado State. This wasn't a mental health thing, as Paul said before. They're processing. This obviously was some sort of a violation or a betrayal, and again, I hate having to speculate, but I have no choice, and I ask the question, right? Because if it was just some processing of mental health thing, or that they probably would have played, right? You would have run Manuel out there against Robinson, right? So obviously there was some sort of a disciplinary.
Well,
thing.
not necessarily.
Really?
I think I think if it's a situation, if those guys willingly did not show up to play, then you don't get to participate with your team. Now, I heard that maybe it was something not basketball related, and it's like you can't pin it down. I heard something possibly with grades, which, okay, I get why you'd still be with your team, but not allowed to play at this point in time. Well, I think we can really see what happened with Matos and Brown is they absolutely checked out, and thus
they're out.
They weren't going to come back, play with this team. But so you wonder with Manuel and Wegscheider, what actually was it? Because it was something that affected them to the point where they didn't play, but not say, hey, we don't want you around the team because you're going to bring a bad attitude.
Right, and I've been hearing that Brown and Matos just didn't want to play for Paul. anymore. Now, does that mean that they're going to be around next year, gone next year? Do you want them here next year? You got a guy in Matos who 13, 14 months ago was your savior. When Carlton Bragg had his issues, man, people were saying, play him now, rip off his freshman year, get him out there now. He's going to save our season. No, that's not how that was going to play out. And then you got a guy in Brown who came from Wichita State with he's going to be, he was a media day guy, right? I mean, he was your media day guy, which means you expected a ton out of him. And obviously he's offensively challenged. He's an athlete. He can play some defense for you. But I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. This is the whole speculation game that we're forced to play. Do you expect those guys back next year? Do you want them back next year?
I think that decision, for sure, whoever takes over the program, and if they haven't announced their names in the transfer portal, you have to sit down and have a hard conversation. Like, what happened? What are you willing to do? Are you all in? Can I trust you to be a student athlete and a basketball player at the University of New Mexico?
Yeah, I just don't know where it goes. I think everybody like I can't tell you that I know one for sure about next year. Do you?
No.
If I gave you, if I asked you, JJ, you know how you do these pools in the NCAA, you do a confidence pool, right? 1 through 64. Who's going to win a game or bowl games. You do who's going to win bowl games, and I put 34 points on this game, and I'm not sure about this game. I put 1. Like if you were going to do a confidence pick, whether you're sure he's here or gone, and I don't even know if you can do it on Malawatch, because he's got to decide whether or not he's going to reuse his senior year. I think he's going to go, but is there one guy you could say, yeah, I think he's back, or no, this guy's absolutely gone?
And what changes it is they didn't lose a year. And so there'd be some guys you'd look at and say, well, yeah, this guy's not going to move again.
Yeah.
But given the fact they get the year back, I think that changes it for Saquon Singleton or Jeremiah Francis, to where those would be guys I'd look at and say, man, I don't think it would benefit them to jump again at this point in time. But really, I think the majority of the backcourt's going to be back. I think that would be a positive for Lobo basketball. Javonte Johnson, Isaiah Marin, and then you have guys that are now upperclassmen in Singleton and Francis that showed you that they'll play hard. They can be pieces. I mean, if you're able to bring in a standout player or two, which probably looking at the transfer market to find some stability in this lineup next year.
Yeah, I guess the other thing is, did any of these guys up their stock? Right? They were all being recruited last offseason, Francis and Singleton and all of them. Did any of them up their stock that they're going to put themselves in a better position?
It's not necessarily a better position because, we see a lot of guys, and you're like, where did they go? Where did they end up? But it too, you do have to take a step back and realize it's going to be an entirely new coaching staff. And how are they going to mesh? Who helped get these guys here? What relationship did they have with Paul Weir, one of the other assistants at this offseason? And that's going to play into it as well.
All right. Jerry Palm's going to be with us next. We're going to talk about the NCAA bubble and the brackets and everything that's going on. He is CBS Sports' bracketologist. He spent some time with us when we come back from this next break. Hey, I've been telling you now about my experience with Coleman Vision and LASIK, and when I tell you it's life-changing, I'm not giving you some phrase. It changed my life. I couldn't see. I wore glasses. I was getting up. I was anchoring the news back in 2003 in the morning, putting my contacts in with my makeup, and my eyes were red. It was misery, and I just couldn't see. It was glasses. I called Dr. Coleman. I went. It changed my life within a day. 1 o'clock surgery. I anchored the news the next morning at 5 o'clock. The minute I opened my eyes, I saw the difference. If you're thinking about LASIK, call Coleman Vision. Dr. Coleman's been doing this and specializing in LASIK since 1988, and he leads the way. It's cutting-edge technology. His technology has played a significant role in developing and testing this current technology that's used around the world. It was all originated here at Siembieda Labs in Albuquerque, New Mexico. For years, Dr. Coleman's patients have come from all over the country to get their LASIK done at Coleman Vision because they know his reputation is stellar. And the fact that he's been in private practice specializing in LASIK his entire career. On any given day, you walk in that beautiful office and you'll see every walk of life. Every walk of life in there, from firefighters to housewives to athletes to nurses to people like you and me who are done dealing with contacts and glasses, and now you're wearing masks and we're fogging up. Here's the deal. If you think you're a candidate, if you're thinking about LASIK, there's only one place to go, and that's Coleman Vision. Go look at what they are at ColemanVision.com. Not only are the Colemans great members of our community and they become family to me, but they're the best at what they do. ColemanVision.com, or give them a call at 505-821-8880. That's 821-8880.
Sponsored by Dow.
Dorian over. Did he get in?
Yeah, they got in. He got in.
Touchdown, Dorian Lewis.
Seconds to play. Benavides looking, still looking up the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Freddie Anaya, and Roswell's season will end perfect.
Second quarter, 2nd and 4 for Socorro at the whole 44-yard line. McDaniel trying, good block by Hicks. First down and more, 30, 25, 20. McDaniel might be gone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown for Michael McDaniel.
It's 40 seconds this year. It's not like 25 like it used to be.
He laterals it back. What a play by Hightower. Pitch.
Looked like somebody moved a little bit early. Hicks, the play fake double move. He's got his receiver wide open. Caught. One man to beat. Touchdown. Touchdown to number 17, Nathaniel.
Third and 6. Big defensive play coming up here. Little trickery to Reese. See you later. Touchdown. They went for the deep ball to Reese.
To the right, single receiver split to the left. Play fake, head up the middle, got some room. 50, 45, 40, has one man to beat. 30, 25, 10, 5, touchdown. Touchdown, Hope.
Wow.
On a...
Option again, he'll keep it. Now he'll pitch it. Comes out to the 30, 25, 20, up the sideline. Still inbounds, into the end zone. Let's see.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Portell.
Davis in the play action, looking. He's going to go back to Lewis, and Lewis makes a cut, and Lewis still on his feet. Dorian Lewis is in for a touchdown.
So Davison back to toss it. He's got all day. It's one miss, and he's rolling. He's got a guy. Can he get it there? Davison to Luke Weissong.
We told you he
touchdown.
could spin that football, and that was a throw right there. I know he's got the wind in his back, but
Jeremy Segura.
Over dribble, spin cycle, up and under move. What a pass, wrap around pass.
Harris, the Gates, the long bomb, 3 ball.
Oh, great steal by Quinteros, lays it up and scores.
A whole little jump step in the... And look out, here comes Agbayosi. Crawford set. That's blocked. Lansing says, get that out of here. Sister to sister, Marianne Lansing's going to go all the way. Turnaround. Ramos, pump fake, everyone bites. Ramos hits.
Jackson loses it. Jalen Bond back. LAU. Put it down. Dunkalicious. How about it?
Well, we're going to talk bubbles for the next 3 days, and certainly as the Mountain West Conference tournament continues today with Colorado State, Boise State, Utah State, all playing today, all having to win. But there's big news this morning, and Jerry Palm just got it. It's time to talk college basketball. He is CBS Sports many things, including their head bracketologist. He joins us this morning. Jerry Palm joins us from beautiful, it's your home studio this morning, correct?
Yes, Northwest Indiana this weekend.
Beautiful,
unfortunately.
Beautiful. All right, we've talked for months. How are they going to get through the NCAA tournament without any COVID issues? How they get? They're not. And big news from as big a name as it gets, a bubble team at the ACC tournament that just came down seconds ago.
Yeah, Duke has had to bow out of the ACC tournament due to a positive COVID test. And you described them as a bubble team. I do not. I think they had to win the tournament to get in. But still, they still had a chance to do that. And that's, unfortunately now for them, that chance is gone. Really not the way any of us want, even if you don't like Duke, it's not how you want to see their season come to an end. They are the second team to have to bow out of its conference tournament once it already started. The other one was Northern Iowa in the Missouri Valley. And we've had a few others, a handful that have had to bow out like right before their conference tournaments. So, the conference tournament season hasn't escaped the COVID bug. But it took down one of the biggest names in the sport, and obviously now Duke won't be in the NCAA tournament, and now there's concern for Louisville, the team they played yesterday, because they're in the NCAA's 7-day testing protocol in the event that they're selected for the tournament, which I think they probably will, double-digit seed, but I think they'll get in. So they probably are holding their breath, and obviously we don't know who in Duke's party. If it was a player or a coach or a manager or somebody more tangential that might not have had contact with Louisville specifically.
Let me ask you this. On the Louisville thing, if there's concern in there, you're having a conversation in the room, all right, is it Louisville or Team X? Well, gosh, they might not be able to play because we don't know yet if they've been exposed. Do you take that chance?
The committee's job is not to be concerned with that. Their job is to pick the field. They have protocols and procedures in place in the event they can't play. Their job is to pick the best team. So unless Louisville is forced to withdraw before the selections are done, the committee will consider them as if they are ready to play and deal with it if they're not.
That's huge news. So Duke is out. They were supposed to play Florida State today in the next round of the ACC tournament. Florida State will advance on a no contest. Correct?
Right.
And going to the next round of the bracket. Yeah. All right. Barry Palm's with us from CBSSports.com. Big news. All right. I really wanted to start with Mountain West as we go, because where do you got? I think there's 3 teams that are firmly right on that cusp. I think San Diego State's in.
I actually have San Diego State on the bubble as well, but certainly on the high side of the bubble. It's more they're on the bubble since of just avoid a bad loss, which they have an opportunity for today. But otherwise, San Diego State is the most solid of the teams, and then 3 of them really right around the cut line on either side of it. Colorado State, Boise State, Utah State. I'm surprised nobody gets mad at me for I always just shorten those. I leave the state off. Which would probably bother the Utah people the most.
Yeah, that's probably yes, yeah, or Colorado people, I would imagine.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I get lazy with that sometimes, so I apologize if that bothers anybody. But those teams are all, squarely on the bubble. Boise State. Part of the reason why Boise State is on the bubble is because Nevada swept them in the regular season. If they just split those games, I think they'd be okay right now, but they didn't. And now they get Nevada again. Part of the reason Utah State is on the bubble is because of a couple of bad losses, one of which was at UNLV, and now they're playing again at UNLV. So, there's a couple of big games where you can kind of erase a bad memory for those 2 teams in particular. Colorado State also sort of in avoid bad loss mode because they've already got a poor record against Quadrant 1 and 2. So, for them, they don't want to make that worse. I think Colorado State is in the better shape of those 3 that we just talked about. But again, they need to avoid a bad loss today.
Jerry, how many spots are actually available right now in the bracket outside of course, automatic qualifiers and teams that you believe, no matter what, are in at this moment?
4 to 6. And 2 of which I just mentioned, Colorado State, Boise State, in the bracket that may not end up there. Maryland has a huge game today. They're playing Michigan State. Maryland it's kind of they're 4 games above 500 against a pretty difficult schedule coming down the stretch of the season. But then they blow a big lead against Northwestern. They blow a big lead against Penn State, and now all of a sudden they're 14-12, and they're playing Michigan State. And if they lose to Michigan State, they're 1 game above 500. And man, I don't know that I want to be Mitch Barnhart and explaining to the world why they took 1 game above 500 Maryland, who would be, I believe, at that point, 3 games below 500 against teams in quadrants 1, 2, and 3. And why they took Maryland over, say, somebody like Drake. That's probably going to be a tough explanation. So Maryland had better win this game today because otherwise they're really giving the committee plenty of reasons to leave them out.
Talking with Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, joining us here on the opening drive. Jerry, the Big 12 tournament to me is fascinating. You have a team in Oklahoma State with Cade Cunningham, a standout freshman that's looked fantastic to end the season. You have Kansas going in without 2 players. We know about Baylor, but then, there's Texas Tech, there's Oklahoma. What do you think of this tournament and what it could mean for some of these teams and their seeding?
Yeah, it's most of these teams, I think I've got Oklahoma in an 8-9 game at the moment, but everyone else is in the top 25. So that's 7 seeds or better. In fact, I think they're all 6 seeds or better. So you're really just shuffling the deck with these teams unless one of them wins a conference tournament, and then maybe, they could sneak up higher. Probably not a 1, unless the Big Ten blows up. But it's, you're talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed pile that those teams occupy could end up getting shuffled around a little bit. And, and of course, the thing about seeding is it always depends on what other teams do. So it's not just about them. But, yeah, it's been a very strong year at the top of the Big 12. And there's no reason to expect that things will be much different at the end of their tournament. Might see different names in different places, but the places will probably be roughly the same.
Syracuse, big win last night. In, out?
Well, the last team in this morning, it wasn't so much a big win in the sense that North Carolina State's all that good. I mean, they're not terrible, but, Syracuse beat them now home, road, and neutral this year. But those 2 wins, the road and the neutral, are 2 of Syracuse's 3 wins away from home this year. So if they really want to feel comfortable on Selection Sunday, they need to beat Virginia today. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of a nervy day for them.
Yeah. Hey, I saw an article, I was in Sports Illustrated, it said, I think it was the teams that are on a roll. He listed 5 teams that are on a roll going into the postseason, and it mentioned your alma mater and mine, San Diego State and Purdue. I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad omen, because a lot of times those articles just set you up for disappointment, but you feeling good about your alma mater at this point?
I do. I mean, I'd be surprised if we win the Big Ten tournament, but they've had Purdue is an interesting team because they're very young, no seniors. They rely heavily on 4 freshmen, 2 of which start and 2 of which come off the bench, including 7'4" Zach Edey, who scored over 20 points in his last 2 games and was the freshman of the week again. It's a really solid team that is playing better than its experience would indicate. This is Purdue's a team to watch out for next year, and Jaden Ivey in particular has a very high ceiling on this team. But they've turned the corner this year and are playing very well going into the conference tournament. They probably get a shot at Ohio State, who Purdue swept in the regular season. So the Buckeyes figure to be pretty angry if they get another crack at Purdue.
Yeah. Jerry, of the teams not named Gonzaga that have qualified for the tournament to this point in time, are there any of those schools that you really do like and we should keep an eye on where they land in the bracket?
Loyola, who, it's got the rankings, the metrics love them, but they're probably going to be a 9 or a 10 seed, something like that. If they're a 10, they can be pretty dangerous. It's hard to be dangerous as a 9 this year because the top of the bracket is loaded. But so if they get a good draw, Loyola's a pretty good team. Winthrop out of the Big South, probably going to get a good seed. Maybe Liberty out of the Atlantic Sun, pretty good defensive team. Teams like that, I think, would have a shot. I would have thrown Belmont in that list, but they didn't make it. I don't think Morehead State's going to get a good enough seed to be dangerous. But those teams, the teams on the 12 and 13 line that won their conferences and won their way in, those are teams to watch out for most years. St. Bonaventure, too, out of the A-10. Whether they win the league or not, as long as they make the tournament, that's a pretty good team.
Yeah. And lastly, I know you're all brackets. Have you heard any coaching news? The New Mexico job's open. We're hearing, everybody's really watching South Carolina, Minnesota, what they're going to do, Indiana. Anything on the coaching front, or has it been all brackets for you?
I heard an interesting name for your job. I don't know how serious it is. May not be, but Tim Miles.
Tim Miles is the name that comes up constantly. We've talked about Tim Miles ad nauseum today, and with his record at Colorado State, where he finished 9th, 8th, 5th, and 4th, and then no better than 4th. Like he's got a losing record over his last 12 years. But that name, he's going hard at this job. What does that do? Does that do anything for you? Like, what do you think of Tim Miles?
I like him. He was he got Nebraska to the NCAA tournament
once.
Yeah. It's Nebraska. Yeah, I understand that. Whatever he did at Colorado State, I thought he had done a reasonable job because they kept getting better. Maybe never quite got over the hump, but they got better. But he put Nebraska in the NCAA tournament out of the Big Ten.
He did.
I mean, that to me, that was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, once in 7 years, his second year.
Terrific guy.
Everybody says that. Yeah, I like him a lot. When he was in this league at Colorado, I like incredibly personable, great with the media, like really good gregarious guy. I just don't know that that's going to be the wow. And he's in his last 12 years between Colorado State and Nebraska, 187 and 202, which is a losing record. A lot of people are here comparing it to the Richie McKay hire when he came from Colorado State, and it didn't work here. And look what Richie's doing at Liberty now. So, but that's the name we hear incessantly here as well. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm not telling you anything.
No, it's good.
Yeah, I got nothing for you. Sorry.
Well, is
Richie Pitino is expected to be let go at Minnesota. I think that seems like a fait accompli. I forget which other one you mentioned, but
I mentioned South Carolina and Indiana.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of leaning toward they'll keep Archie Miller because I don't think they want to pay $10 million to fire him. But South Carolina, I wouldn't be surprised to see a change there.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one. Just watch this because Frank Martin coached Eddie Nunez, the athletic director here, coached him in high school. There's a relationship there, and they thought really? If he gets a buyout money, would he be willing to come here for whatever they can pay for? So.
Yeah, that would be an interesting choice too. And he's a good coach. South Carolina's a tough place to win, but he got him to the Final Four, so
Yeah, that's the name that's resonating and getting some interest here. All right, we'll talk to you next week. It'll be tournament day, and we'll catch up with you next Thursday. Enjoy the weekend. Right. I know it'll be busy. We'll watch.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. Be well. Jerry Palm from CBSSports.com, and again, follow him at _JP Palm, not underscore, at JP Palm CBS. It's the opening drive. JJ, I believe this is you.
It is me, Jeff, and let me tell you about a madness you can get involved with. How about your fitness this month? And we've talked about the year that it has been, and you've tried to stay healthy certain ways, but have you thought about yourself in terms of your fitness and how that can benefit you? Let me introduce you to F45 training. F45 training is a gym. It's a mix of circuit and high-intensity training in 45-minute classes. There's no wasted time. The classes are different every day, but you go in and they're structured, they're set up. So you don't have to walk in and go, well, what do I want to do today? I guess maybe I'll do some bench press, do some curls. No, you go in, the classes are set up, it's going to push you, and you're going to feel great about what you just did. And by the way, it's not going to take up a big chunk of your day. F45 is located at 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's really good access to Paseo and I-25 from wherever you're coming from in the city. Check them out at f45training.com. Download the F45 app so you can see their class schedule. The gym is open 7 days a week, and this is big because I am able to catch up Saturday and Sunday morning workouts. You need to download the app so you can book your class because class sizes are still being managed. So you're going to go in a comfortable environment, spaced out. The stations are there, and you can focus on your workout. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial, no strings attached, so you can go in and see how it feels at this point in time. Of course, certified trainers are there at every class to help you along the way. Whether you're looking to kickstart your fitness or challenge yourself to get to another level, F45 is the place for you. So check them out, f45training.com. Download the F45 app so you can join me at the next class, and they're different every day. It's going to be a new challenge to keep you motivated. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Staples helps you get back to business with custom.
Ramos, rise and fire. He's fouled.
You know, he used to coach for Del Norte. And
Here's Voss all the way with the finish. He'll get the... Behind the back of the dribble. Tries to go up with the right hand. He changed hands in midair. And Hotnet sent it away. Wynn doing a really good job denying Chavez. DC hasn't got the ball. Oh, Yeku! Oh! Working against Watson. Oh, look at the spin move.
Ball's loose. DJ Bustos brings it up. Barnes Tompkins, alley-oop. How about it? That was redunculous.
Turnover. Cable to the big fella might try to jam on home.
let's get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what he'll
just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's going to fire at the buzzer, and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
in the district. Inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this. Stripped, stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Couldn't have said that any better. He answered the question. He
On
got
a
another
steal
one.
at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Jerry sure likes him some Tim Miles, doesn't he?
Does. He makes a good point.
Yeah.
Don't scoff at getting Nebraska to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Fair, valid point. So there's one check on the yes or no for Tim Miles.
Yep. Jerry's on TV today, CBS Sports Network at halftime, about 3 and 5:30, and then at 6:30. He'll be all over your TV today. All right, let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. Miguel, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Miguel.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing this morning? Good.
We're good, thank you.
Good. Hey, I just want to throw out a thought here. Nothing against this Mills guy, but
Miles.
Hey, yeah, thank you. But look, we all like Paul Weir, and we know we took him. He came up from New Mexico State. I mean, what's the possibility of us going out and getting Chris Jans from New Mexico State? Because, I mean, no disrespect to Paul Weir, but I think Jans is a better coach, and he knows New Mexico. Even though his players, he doesn't recruit from the. I don't know if he has any New Mexico. Well, he's got Johnny McCants down there from Las Cruces, but he knows the terrain of the land. He knows what it takes to get kids to come to New Mexico.
Yeah.
And I gotta believe he would leave He'd leave New Mexico State because Mountain West is a bigger conference. It's more prestigious than the WAC. They got to be able to pay him more money than they're paying him down in Las Cruces, don't you think?
All of that's right, and I think the chances are zero. And Miguel, I appreciate the call and thanks for it. Everything you said is right, and I love Jans, and I think he'd be great at UNM. I just think there's zero chance they're doing that.
Okay, because it's and I don't want to say it's political, but in a way it's political, right?
It
I
is,
mean,
and you
just can't go steal another guy's coach. He's
And
probably
I don't
got a
think
contract.
you
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, and you don't go
I
the same
get
well
it,
twice.
but
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for the call. No, Miguel.
How pissed would they be if we did that to him twice? We'd
Really
have to laugh,
pissed.
right? I mean, it is a
Miguel.
rivalry. I don't
Yeah.
I got friends that go to New Mexico State. I don't hate New Mexico State, but it would be funny, right?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Hey, don't be a stranger. Call us again, Miguel. That's a great call. JJ, everything you said is right, except for it's not going to. I just see no chance. Like, if they didn't do it last time, maybe you look down there and say, damn, would Jans come here and look what he's doing and he's got, like he's proven, but you can't. I mean, the chances are zero, right?
They are zero.
Or
I think
0.5%?
Yeah, let's put it at 0.001%. Because never say never in situations, as we have learned all across the board. But it's one that I think it's fair. I think most people would say, you know what? Yeah, Chris Jans is a better coach than Paul Weir at this point in time. The dude knows what he's doing. He was able to pick up and put an identity back on that team, Aggie basketball, which. But I don't think Eddie is going to go down that road again.
And honestly, if they didn't do it last time, I think it would be a possibility this time. I like Jans. When you talk about what are you looking for in a coach, what's his pedigree? Now, I don't know if Eddie would like that he came from Greg Marshall and that he's got a discretion in his past. But him winning, the way he's won, how he's won, like, honestly, if it wasn't done last time, Jans checks a lot of the boxes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
For what it is you're looking for? So, do I get time to go to Robert? Robert, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Robert.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, Jerry Palm, you should have asked him, well, if Painter leaves Purdue, would you like Miles coming in? And then we'd see how high he is on Miles, because I don't see anybody really liking this guy.
Really good.
I really hope Rudy C. can have a word with Eddie Nunez and tell him about how the fan base would really totally not respond very well to Tim Miles. I'd rather come up with a up-and-comer, if we can't get Martin or Marshall or someone like that. There's a guy out at Stephen of Austin named Kyle Keller who's looking really good, who I hope UNM could look at somebody like that, because he's done some pretty good things in the last couple of years. In fact, last year he was able to go into Cameron and beat Duke with a really highly rated Duke team. A guy like that has a really good defense, and something like that would even check my boxes and be a pretty good hire.
Nice. All right, Robert. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I wonder where the fan base is. I mean, would you rather go Tim Miles or a guy like that? A guy from Stephen F. Austin, a guy from Montana, a guy from Abilene Christian, who's winning and on his way up. You know, a name I haven't heard, and I thought I would hear more, is Mike Brown, the former Cavaliers and Lakers coach, Elijah's dad. I thought I would
can tell you why.
More. Go ahead.
People just didn't like Elijah at the end.
Okay. He's not going to be your coach.
How did the Craig Cullen thing work out? People
yeah, but they wouldn't be here together.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, what do you think of that?
You're talking about people's feelings about it.
What would you feel about Mike Brown?
I will let you know after this break.
Because I'll let you know what I think, too. I'll let you know when I come back. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I got your emails as well. I don't know, where would you rather go? Tim Miles guy, like somebody like that, or up-and-comer from Montana, Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin, somebody on their way up? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Moreno extra pass, and Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand. And
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Another steal by Domino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming. The lob tagged by Osi, the one-hand hammer.
drive from Parham. Second field goal, he's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off. Romero, a 3 for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good...
Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, 20!
Well, he needed to get his legs back under him.
Ooh, little kick.
They leave it one more time. Two-hand hammer.
Look at this. They're not going to score again. Look at this.
Up top. Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak ahead of the pack to Davina Lovato. Up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Siembieda and J.J. Buck.
On the day after the Paul Weir era comes to an official end at the Mountain West Conference Tournament with an 85-77 Lobo men's basketball loss to Fresno State, we are here for you, and we're looking to the future. What's up, y'all? Happy Thursday. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Tim Miles, up-and-comer, Mike Brown, Frank. Who do you want? As Eddie goes on and on, we're taking your calls at 246-0610 or emails, Jeff or JJ at sports@WQ.com. By the way, you know what I watched last night? I didn't watch the women's game. I didn't, and it's kind of thanks to your boys, the All-Stars on the weekend, who hate hockey so much. I watched the Kings and Ducks last night. Kings look good. I watched some good old-fashioned National Hockey League, and it was damn good. It reminded me how good hockey was last night. You don't have to wait until the playoffs. By the way, your abs are all right too.
The abs are all right. They need some work around the edges. This is a interesting season because it can be overwhelming because it's just division play. You're playing the teams in your division over and over and over again, which could wear on you, but it also could build some rivalries coming out of this season. You have all of Canada just playing each other, so they don't have to travel to the United States. You mentioned, the Kings and Sharks are going to play all the time. The Ducks are going to be in there to see it over and over and over. There was that point in time where St. Louis and Arizona played 7 straight games. So there definitely is a lot going on. And it's going to be interesting to see how teams look next year when you get back to the regular divisions, or if they do that. I think I think keeping these divisions is actually going to be good, and then just implement crossover play when travel restrictions, stuff like that, become eased up, so you can actually go to Canada to play games.
Yeah, all right. Kings won 5-1 last night. It was really good.
Micah doesn't like it. I don't know. Is it Stars losing? Is that why? What's happening?
No, I just got to go back to the old divisions. I'm tired of these new divisions for this year.
Damn kids today. All right, let's go. Oh, wait, you were going to tell me your thoughts on Mike Brown, and I'll tell you mine, and then we'll go to the phones.
I think Mike Brown is intriguing, and I kind of have him mid-tier if it was putting the list together. His connections, his coaching track record. You got to believe he knows enough people too that recruiting would be a positive, especially when you're coming like, hey, look at where I've been, who I've coached, who I know. But I think with Lobo fans, they remember, and they remember for a long time. I think for some people it's hard to separate Elijah and Mike look at him in two different areas, and people just kind of soured on Elijah Brown at the end, and I feel that's why there would be carryover to maybe some people would be questioning Mike Brown.
I disagree with you in a bit, but I like Mike Brown. I think with an NBA pedigree and a proven coach and a name, and I think that would generate some excitement. I think, first of all, I don't know that Elijah was ever really paired a lot with his dad here. His dad wasn't vocal here. His dad was at some games, but you never heard his dad. It was all Elijah. Mike never really jumped in. My question would be, give me the coach. We always talk about who's the coach that went from the NBA and had or college and went to NBA success. Did Billy Donovan? How good was he? And how many coaches go the other way? How many NBA guys start NBA coaches and come to college and have a lot of success? Larry Brown.
There's Brown, and then guys that have been back and forth. So really, where did they start?
Kruger.
Like Calipari, Pitino, Kruger.
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. I like it. All right, let's go. Fred, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Fred.
Hey, good morning, gents. Listen, I have to call in because of the cringeworthy abdication for Tim Miles from Jerry Palmer. Please no. In addition to the record that you stated for how Miles did versus McKay, and that's in 2 seasons for McKay and 3 for, or actually 5 for Miles. So he was, whatever was. He just had a horrible record.
He was 71 and 88 at Colorado State. 71 and 88 at Colorado State. 9th, 8th, 5th, and 4th in the league.
Right. And so you could also compare, so how did he do versus Nico Medved? Medved inherited a pretty bad team. His first 3 seasons, his current record is 49 and 36 and 32 and 21. Miles for the same time period was 32 and 63.
Yeah, I would tell you.
And 35.
What Miles inherited, I think, was worse than what Larry Eustachy left for Nico Medved. And I'm going to put the record in context a touch. I know we've been leaning on it. Colorado State has never really won a lot of basketball. It's a hard place to win. So is Nebraska. And I'm going to give you an analogy a little bit. Rocky Long didn't have a great record when he left New Mexico and was considered, but he got better because if you look at his first seasons with 2 wins and then 3 wins and then 4 wins, it really slanted because of what he inherited. So in places where you don't historically win, I think you got to put records in context a bit. Numbers don't lie, but I think context is also essential.
Right. But some other things you can consider is in his 2 NCAA appearances, both were with 4th place finishes. Okay, and in the one he had in the Mountain West Conference, if you remember, that season was insane because they were still under the RPI. And I think that Mountain West, they were at one time ranked number 2 or something insane like that. So he managed to get in with a 4th place finish. The other one was in a Power 5 conference where it's routine for a 4th place finish team to get in. I don't think he's going to get into the NCAAs with a 4th place finish in the current Mountain West, which does happen to have some pretty tough coaches. And then also, if you look at his record versus the 3 of the teams, the good, pretty predominantly good teams that were here during all 5 of his seasons at CSU, he was 2-9 against UNM, and this is including the conference tournament. He was 1-11 against San Diego State, and he was 3-7 against UNLV.
It's good.
If you want to hire somebody to replace Robert Portnoy, then Miles would be your guy. It'd be awesome. To lead UNM and compete for championships, I don't think so. We're talking right now we're swimming in the bottom of the Mountain West Conference ocean, and we're trying to hopefully rise to the surface with the SS Tim Titanic. I don't think it's going to happen. With regards to Chris Jans, I think he's a really good coach. I like the tongue-in-cheek about potentially hiring him, but same thought crossed my mind. And I understand it's very likely not going to happen. But think back to the last 3 coaches that left the WAC, which was Menzies, Weir, and Reggie Theus. None of them really panned out. So again, you're kind of the big fish in a small pond in the WAC, but you get into the deeper waters, and I don't know if even Jams could do it either.
Fair enough.
Thanks, Jim.
That's a good call. Thank you, Fred. So there's a lot there. JJ, is it fair to put it into context? You and I have both been leaning on his numbers. It's hard to win at those two places, Colorado State and Nebraska, certainly at Nebraska. So his record is what his record is. And to Jerry's point, he took Nebraska to the NCAA tournament, which isn't done a lot. Do you know who they lost to, by the way, at Colorado State when they went to the NCAA tournament? Do you remember it all? They lost to 12-seed Murray State, 58-41. So that was in a 12-5. God, they were a 5-seed? That's insane. But his point on being 2-9 against UNM and 1-11 against San Diego State is not lost. I mean, those are the games, those are the teams you got to win. Now, does context matter? I take you to Rocky Long. His record, right, I think he had a losing record, right, when he was the winningest coach in the history of this program. But this program has such a history of losing, and does his overall record matter? I think everybody would agree Rocky Long's a pretty damn good football coach.
Yes, and context does matter, and I think there are things that can lean Tim Miles. Okay, we can have some more positive conversation about it, but ultimately, people are they've seen it. They don't think there's more there. And I got this message from Patricia on our Facebook page, and it says, no on Tim Miles. Jerry said he's a good coach. I beg to differ and say he's okay. No excitement. And that's really kind of the sentiment you're getting from a lot of people when that name is thrown out there.
Yeah, you said it earlier, fine. It's fine. All right, I mean, but are you striving for fine? Mercedes-Benz, it's fine or nothing. No, it's not, yeah, you're fine. Like, look at him. Oh, he's a Medj. He's great. I love that one. This one's fine. Yeah, it's all right. Do I want my meal to be really good, or do I want it to be fine? Do I want to go to Ruth's Chris, or I want to go to Sizzler? I mean, Sizzler's fine.
Ruth's Sizzler can be fine. Let me tell you about it.
Do they even have Sizzler anymore?
I don't know, but I sure as heck was very happy when my dad took me to the Sizzler.
We're going to and it was fine, right? It was fine. You've been to Ruth's Chris?
It's fine when you're like
been
13 years old and you're like, oh, I can walk through here and grab what I want and get a steak. Yeah.
That's right. You've been to Chamberlain's? You've been to right? You've been to Maestro's? I mean, that's really good. Sizzler's fine. It's good. It's good. That's my point. All right, if you're there, stay there. I got to hit this break. We'll come back, take more of your phone calls at 505-246-0610. But before we go, I got to give you a few truths. As you roll through your day, guys, things like fatigue and low T and hair loss, it's natural as men age, and there's a really good chance some of the stuff's going to happen to you. The beauty is there's something that you can do to battle nature, and you can be you again. You can feel like yourself again. If you're experiencing these things, you're regularly tired, maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds, or you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, I suggest you call NuMale. NuMale leads the way in helping men deal with these issues they have for years. Their testosterone replacement utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology, and men all over the country are benefiting from it. They feel better. Call NuMale at 505-652-1688 or visit NuMale, NuMale.com. Guys, NuMale is convenient. They're right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable. It starts with your phone call, goes all the way through the treatment. NuMale guides you through the process, and the best part is the results are absolutely real. 505-652-1688. Don't put it off, gentlemen. Take care of you. Visit NuMale.com or call 505-652-1688, and you will feel better.
Somebody's got to pull Arizona off of Houston.
What do I got?
Only
Bruin
one.
James?
Ramos wants another.
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores.
Cut into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer from Murillo.
Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. Gonna settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side push. Shot on and goal. Deflected in. No.
Dorian's gonna go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. It's a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Stripped. Daniel stripped him. The Highland the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it. What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbaosi throws it down.
Call it as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly, Cardinal fly. To the other side, provides some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out! See you later. Good night. Touchdown, Webskowski. All day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man! Touchdown! Wild catch! Not a defender inside.
A little bit.
Kowski on the sideline! Hasta mañana! He's off to the races! Touchdown, Clovis!
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman, he's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
Exactly what they want to get yards.
He's going to go for it. He's got a guy towards the end zone. It's Krebs. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow. Santa Maria.
And so they'll send one deep and returnable at the 2. Usually Volcano do either a reverse or a fake reverse, and here it is a reverse. And a move to
no
the outside.
lines open. You got to clear a line. They're all, I mean, I'll give you the number if you want to call, but 505-246-0610. Let's get to you because obviously we have piqued, P-I-Q-U-E'd, your interest. Hello, James. Bruin James, you're up on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. What's up, James?
Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, James.
I just want to put it out there that if you guys are looking for a recruiting coordinator, I'm it. I recruit the IE pretty good. I recruit the Vegas area pretty good.
All right.
If you guys, Hello?
I'm not hiring, but you need to get a hold of the new coach, man. As soon as there's a new coach, you should put it in. I mean, if I'm hiring you, man. Go recruit the IE. Get me another Kendall Williams or find me a Tony Snell out of the IE.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. My prize guy I got out of the IE was Darren Carlson. He was my prize guy, man. He was good one. He was up in the air. He didn't know where he wanted to go when he was at Etowanda, and we talked, and I convinced him to go to UCLA. You know, so he's my prize guy, bro.
Get your resume together. Get it all shiny. When Tim Miles, whoever the new coach is, you can make sure you get it to him. All right?
Okay. All right. Have a good one.
Be well. And JJIE is what?
Inland Empire. Now, I do have to. I question: do you recruit Vegas well, or do you just want a trip to Vegas?
No, well, that's part of the interview process. Rancho Cucamonga, Upland, San Bernardino, all that Inland Empire stuff. Ray, good morning. You're up next on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Ray.
How's it going, guys?
Good, Ray. How you living?
Yeah, I don't think Tim Miles. No, I didn't like him when he was in Colorado State. He plays a slow-down game, tries to slow it down. I think Mexico needs someone with a little bit of up-tempo, bring the excitement back, like with Norm Allenberger, and then we're playing. That's what I think we need. And I'll be throwing out there. Who's that guy Grand Canyon just hired? Is that one of the Drew brothers? Maybe lure him away and take him. That's a good chain right there. Good recruiting. What do you think about that?
I'm going to promise you Grand Canyon's paying more money than you can pay. Promise. The private school, all that money.
Drew for the Lopes.
Yeah, you can't afford him, right? I mean, I'll look it up during this next call, but I'll bet he's north of $1 million. I just don't know you can afford him. Travis, good morning. You're up next on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Let me tell you something. You're doing something wrong when you excite an apathetic fan base so much that they blow up the sports talk radio show in the morning because of a rumor about your potential coaching hire. That's when you know you got it wrong. I hope Eddie is listening. Like, we already did this. Didn't we already do this before, fellas, where we go out and we grab, like, the retired coach who's a current sports analyst for a network? Didn't we already do that here in New Mexico? I thought we did that before. How'd that work out?
Bob Davey?
And yeah, Bob Davies, right. And the thing about this is, like, we're not even grabbing somebody from, like, a major network, right? We're not getting ESPN. We're getting someone from the Big Ten. We're getting an analyst from the Big Ten. Are you telling me no one reached out to Charles Barkley? What's Ernie Johnson doing these days? Can we not get him on the phone? Like, give me a break, fellas. This is like a bad movie. It's like the Mountain West Conference is trying to get the band back together. We got Noodles and Alfred on drums. You're bringing back Ken Miles. We bringing back, Steve Fisher and
Larry Shyatt.
Dave Rice. Dave Rice for
Larry Shyatt.
What are we doing here, guys? Come on.
Yeah, that's a good call. Thank you, Travis. No, I get it.
Right,
Thanks,
fellas.
Travis.
Take care.
It's a great call. Perspective, can I give this to you? Do you know what Bryce Drew's making at Grand Canyon? When I told you, I guarantee, if I told you he's making $16.3 million over 6 years for an average of $2.7 million, would that surprise you? It would shock me, but not shock me. Like take Bryce Drew off.
It would absolutely surprise me.
That's $16.3 million over 6 years at Grand Canyon. Now, if he takes me to the NCAAs this year for the first time, is it worth it?
Yes.
I guess it is. It's up to you. Lancifer, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Lance.
Oh, going to Sizzler. I used to love it. They had, you can make as many ice cream cones as you could. That was a great place. You guys aren't making
it was fine.
My favorite restaurant. But the last guy, what a nut job. I mean, but we put in our 2 cents hoping it might make a difference, you know. That's all, you know. But anyway, I hear Cowboy fans. Well, all they got to do is shore up that defense. Well, how much money do you have left? And plus, any guy, you know, to be bargained with, they saw, you know, they're going to use like Dak as leverage. You know, I'm going to ask for as much as I want, so he'll be lucky to get 1 or 2 guys. You know, it's not just shore up the defense all of a sudden. Like even Micah made it sound like it's a piece of cake. It's just defense. That's what wins championships. Anyway, you know, this is just another name. You know, you think of all these people that are out there. Even Scott Padgett. You know, he used to be a big-time college player too, but he's been coaching a while. You know, he's another guy in the mix that may not have to pay too much. But
all right.
Anywho, Yeah, I had to call it a few days. Just wanted to let you know I was alive. I'm sure you
Good
really
to hear you.
missed me.
Did miss you. Oh, I'm glad you're well. Thanks, Lance. Appreciate
All
you.
right, we'll see.
You want me to get one more in, or I got to take this break? I got time. Where do you want me to go? Direct me. Take Jeffrey. Jeffrey, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey, this is a sports-related call. You were sharing earlier what you were doing last night. I just wanted to remind your listeners about a great historical event, if you have an hour of time. October 1st, 1975, 10 a.m. local Manila time, 120 degrees in the ring. Ali Frazier, their rubber match. The thrill
I watched
in Manila.
that was on last night, too.
If you have nothing to do, rewatch that fight. Ali dominates the first third of the fight. Middle rounds, Frazier comes back, and then the last 3 rounds are probably one of the most historic, heavyweight champ fights in the history of boxing.
Yep.
And in the 13th round, Ali knocks his ring out, or the mouthpiece out for Frazier. 14th round, a barrage by Ali. 15th round, Frazier doesn't come out. But you want to see one of the greatest, you can argue the greatest heavyweight championship fight of all time, the Thrill in Manila, October 1st, 1975. It was, I think it's appearing frequently on ESPN3.
It was on last night.
Anyway.
It was on last night, and actually I caught a few rounds of that, too, as I was flipping through. We were doing a bunch of stuff last night, and caught the end of the Xavier game, and then I found the Kings game, watched a bunch of that, and then during intermission caught a few rounds of that. It was unbelievable. And you're saying things that aren't even in today's lexicon. 14th and 15th round. That's like people are going, what does that mean? Fights only go 12 rounds. No, man, they went 15 rounds back in the day.
Yeah, and remember, it was in Manila, so for the purposes of watching the fight, it's still the most watched live fight of all time. Over 1 billion people across the globe watched that fight, and they fought at 10 a.m. Manila time, and it was 120 degrees in the ring, and ultimately Frazier did not come out for that 15th round, but it's unrelenting, just a barrage of blows round by round. Ali wins the first third, as I said. Frazier comes back in the middle, and then Ali just reemerges his dominance. And the beauty of that fight, it's incredible. If you want to spend an hour, because they concentrate the fight down to an hour's time frame, you watch it, and it's arguably the greatest heavyweight championship fight of all time with legends. Ali Frazier. It does not get any better than that.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thanks,
Good
man.
to hear you. I was sure he was in on Lobo basketball, by the way. I caught a little of that last night. It's so good. And when was the last time you heard somebody talking about the 14th round of a fight?
I think there's a good reason we don't talk about the 14th round of a fight anymore.
Because they don't do them anymore?
Well, you shouldn't be doing that anymore.
They don't do it anymore. Back when I was a kid, we'd fight for 15 rounds. These damn
We'd go
today.
7 days straight.
That's right. Without any water. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Bracket.
There is a lane. Look out! Shot out of a cannon. Rodriguez is going to take it all the way.
Creates space. He gives it off to Rivas for the 3, and he buries it.
Coming in soon. Double kick set for Avalos. Goes to the right. Avalos puts it up high. Window. Scores it as foul.
Right here by Lewis all the way, coast to coast, and finish.
What a... Around the screen. Against White. Step back. It's blocked. JB with the block.
In transition. Ahead to hit on. Hit on for the two-hand hammer.
Has to go. They've got a shot. They had a chance, and it's put up, and it's good. What a 3 that is by Jalen.
Hito puts it up.
Rebound Cowboys. Right side, David Hall. Thank you very much. Here come the Cowboys. Lamina Lovato lays it up. Missed it. Hey, how about it? Thank you, Lusses. Thank you very much, Raquan Mitchell. Clock at 6. They get it. Barnes Tompkins fires. Yes! Pass up court. This for the win. Blocked by DJ Bustos. Cowboys win. Cowboys win.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. There goes. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez, good spin. Takes a.
Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop through the.
Up the phones, and you all got opinions, and I love it. You want me to read some emails for you now?
And Howard.
Two lines open, 246-0610, 888-922-0610. Bad Street, Lancer is the OD answer. Jeff, did Loopy just invite you and Bad Street over to Sizzler for lunch? I like their toast. They have the big Texas toast. Lobo Hobo says, what Rocky inherited? Let's talk about that, Jeff. He inherited a 9-4 club that played the WAC championship game and went to a bowl when there were only 20 games, so a bowl bid still meant something. Lobo Hobo. I guess the insinuation, it means nothing now. And it was all seniors on that team, except for Grambly did come back, if I'm not mistaken. It was an injured Grambly that wasn't the same. Go back and look at that roster. He inherited a program that went to their first bowl game since 1960, was it 61, I want to say? I mean, it's not he inherited a team, not a program, Lobo Hobo, with all due respect. With all due respect. Yes, they went to the WAC championship the year before, and Fran cashed out and went. But that wasn't a good program. That was a good team, that 9-4 team. And all those guys were seniors, and they bounced. Go take a look. Lobo Hobo also says, how about this guy, Jeffy? LCU is the number 2 seed in Division II. Duncan should be very familiar with Lobo basketball since they spent a month in his gym. I don't know what he makes in Lubbock at Lubbock Christian, but would assume Nunez should be able to land him for less than he was paying Weir. He says, how about the coach at Lubbock Christian? Yeah, throw him in the mix. One more. Lobo Hobo also says, reply to Jerry Palmer, Jeff, Nebraska is a football school. Tim McKay was able to fly under the radar for a while. If he comes to Lobo basketball, he's going to be under the gun from the minute he walks on campus. Jerry's phone sounded great, though. In 7 years, he went to the NCAAs once. He went in his second year. The last 2 years went to the NIT. It is a football school. Absolutely. And it's tough to win at Nebraska. Nobody's done it regularly at Nebraska. It's absolutely right. But it is what it is. Edward, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care hotline. Michael, who else do we got, by the way? I know you told me, and I don't have it written down. Hello, Edward. Where is Micah? I can't push the buttons.
Disappeared. He's on the phone.
Oh, he's on the phone.
You can still put someone else on the phone.
Yeah, you could still. All right, I got to hold because he's on the phone. He's telling me to hold on. I'll read you one more. By the way, Players is going on today, and Ronnie says, good morning, guys. Looks like a great day for some golf at TPC Sawgrass. I think Jordan Spieth finally gets a win. Who do you got winning? Who do you got winning the Players? I'm going Rory this week with Jordan on the first page of the leaderboard.
Don't look at the leaderboard if you're picking Rory McIlroy.
Okay, then I'm not going Rory. He's already
plus 7.
No.
Yeah.
After what? 3
Your
holes?
boy Xander Schauffele's plus 6, by the way, too.
Damn.
I thinking back with my pick, I went with zeroed in. I think I like Spieth a lot. If his putting can come through on the weekend, he's going to be in contention. When is Tony Finau going to win one? Give me Tony Finau.
All right, take him.
It's
All
time.
right, Michael, who you got? Who you got?
Edward, Howard, different Fred.
All right, let's go, Edward. You're up. Briefly, we got one line open. I know you say briefly. You don't know what briefly means. Do you wear briefs or boxers?
The Crusher just crushes everything. It doesn't matter at that point.
I guess neither.
Hey, you know what? Speeds has had a pretty good year, but JJ's right. Just on the weekends, the putting situation on the green, he's had a bad, 3 or 4 years, quite honestly.
By the way, Tony Finau is +7 also.
No, I didn't look that far down. No.
That's like,
dang it.
That's like the Bob Clark kiss of death right there, my friend.
Oh, damn.
Well,
briefly, with brevity. That last segment was great, by the way. The UCLA guy that's just kind of throwing his resume out there. That was awesome. Dude, put your resume together. I'll represent you. Hey, how about Thomas Edward Brady crushing the dreams of a potential dynasty, the Kansas City Chiefs, them releasing both starting offensive tackles today. That's how quickly it changes in the NFL, my friends.
Yep.
3 months ago, we were talking, hey, this might be the start of a 6-year Super Bowl run. Couldn't score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Released both offensive starting tackles today. That's the NFL, my friends. Jerry Jones came out today, or maybe it was yesterday, and said, everything that has been great, I'm paraphrasing, everything that is great, I've overpaid for. Everything that has been great in my life and I've had success, I've overpaid for. Yep. Well, we're going to put that to the test, my friend.
How did you feel with your dad?
You asked for brevity. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Beautiful. Thank you, Edward. Appreciate you. Howie, good morning. Your boss just came on. Now you get to go follow him. Hello, Howard.
Now I'm in trouble. He thinks I'm actually working. But anyway, Mike and I mapped out the success of the Dallas Cowboys over the next 4 or 5 years. I'd share it with you guys, but I really can't. It's top secret. We need to get on a conference call to Jerry. So anyway, I'm going to jump over to coaching at UNM. I also do not want Tim Miles. I don't want a nice guy as our coach. I don't want somebody that's going to be middle of the pack. I want somebody that's an assassin. I want somebody that's maybe even let's say a jerk. I mean, let me put it to you this way. If Lance could coach the Lobos to championship, I'd say bring him in. Throw a couple of Red Blazers together and get him on the court. Have a good day, guys.
See ya, Howie. Is that a backhanded calling Lance a jerk? I'm not sure. I want a jerk. If Lance could call, all right. But, I mean, you need somebody with an edge, right? I think. Don't you usually go back and forth? You went from Bliss, for Schilla, and then for Schilla to nice guy Richie, right? And then you went to Alford. Yeah, right? That's how that went.
Well, it's usually with more of how they're dealing with the personnel. As you can still be a good dude and handle things well and a good basketball coach.
Yeah. Fred, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Fred.
Hey, guys. I don't want Miles. I'll just tell you that right now. And I don't want Martin either. So I just want Eddie Nunes to pick a good coach, and let's just hope that happens. I did look up Nebraska because we were looking up about Nebraska never doing any good. But the only guy that's ever done good is Danny Nee, not the Danny Nee Knee, but N-E-E. He took them to 14 teams that appeared in postseason 11 times during 86 to 2000. Otherwise, they've done terrible the whole rest of the time. But that's not why I called. I called because 2 reasons. One, I wanted to just the girls. They that game. I heard Rudy this morning say he thought it was not officiated very good. I really thought it was, only because they let them play. They only had 13 fouls to 11 fouls, and both teams had to make 3 fouls at the very end of the game to get into shooting free throws. But the one play though, I don't know if JJ's. I can't believe at the very end of the game, the Cavender girl, not at the very end, about 10 seconds ago, she drove to the basket. She just wipes out this girl. The girl wipes out her. They're both laying on the ground, and the refs didn't call anything. I couldn't believe that was a no call because they're both laying on the ground, and I haven't heard anybody talk about that. And then the reason I really called those, and I haven't heard anybody that's been able to tell me this, and maybe you guys might know, you have seniors. Like Danny had 16 seniors. He decided he wanted 8 of the seniors to come back. okay, say, for instance, the women, they have 2 seniors, and if they come back, does that go against your 13 players? Or just, I mean, I don't know. No one seems to know. And so if we take those 2 girls, does that mean 2 of our recruits, we can't recruit the 3 recruits that we're trying to get? Or say the men. I haven't even heard anything about the men and any recruits even coming here. It sounds like they didn't do any recruiting this year, like they knew they were going to be gone, because I haven't heard any names at all for the men. Normally you have 3 or 4 people coming in or something, but I hadn't heard a word. So if you can answer that question, what happens if, say you do have 2 recruits, does that go against your number, and do you have to take 2 more people off the team, or can you have more than?
No, I think the answer is you have X number of scholarships. I mean, if your school's going to pay for it, I don't know if they're going to extend it at the NCAA level, but is your school going to pay for extra scholarships?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. The NCAA is allowing you to push past limits for 1 year, but schools are making decisions if they want to pay that extra money or not.
Okay, well, that answers my question. So for 1 year, they're allowing you to go over the limit then?
I think so. Yeah,
Correct?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay,
I think that's right.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask, so. Anyway, talk to you later. Bye.
Later. All right, Fred, call the 2460610. We're not crushing candidates, are we? I mean, we're having a conversation. Is anybody on this show? People have
well,
certainly
some of
voiced their
the
opinion.
fans are crushing Tim Miles.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. But I don't think we're crushing anybody. All right. We've got one more segment for you to get in, and I'll read as many of the emails as I can at 505-246-0610 or Jeff or JJ at sportsaudibleabq.com. Hey, why get LASIK? Well, it'll change your life, first of all. If you think you're a candidate for LASIK surgery for your eyes, I really strongly suggest Coleman Vision. Look, the primary reason for the increased demand for LASIK surgery during the pandemic is the work from home culture. Patients aren't traveling to and from work as much. They're not engaging in social activities. And so they've got time now to focus on things like this. You're wearing masks more. Your glasses are fogging up, and if you're driving or operating machinery or performing tasks that makes it inconvenient. And then there's the long-term value. Besides being convenient and improving your quality of life greatly, LASIK surgeries also offer greater long-term value. The procedure is essentially going to pay for itself in the long run. You no longer spend money on eye checkups and eyeglasses and lenses and contacts and designer frames. And if you've got additional disposable income, investing in your health always pays off. I had LASIK done in 2003. I still swear by it, and I swear by Coleman Vision. I swear by the way they do things, who they are, and the cutting-edge technology that Dr. Coleman provides. They become family to me. They changed my life, and I think that they could really do the same for you. Check them out. Go to ColemanVision.com. LASIK is real with Coleman Vision. Seeing is believing. You will see the difference immediately. The number is 505-821-8880. That's 505-821-8880, or visit ColemanVision.com.
Little step, high window,
Got the second.
To the middle.
Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis.
He goes in.
It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo.
Reverse layup.
Gallegos spins, window, finishes.
There's a run coming from
lazy pass. Here comes Crawford. It might be showtime. Two to shoot. They'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
There's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go. His
Ford driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good. Nice pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalan wants to put it down. But here comes Las Cruces. Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Rashawn in transition. 3-on-2. Rashawn going to go all the way. Oh, Morgan. Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy, and it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay,
Yeah, I
just
got
get
you.
the measurement. I mean,
Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. And looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11. And spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
All right, wrapping up, you got a ton of stuff. Dean says, I think Rudy should work his Wolverine connections, give Juwan Howard a call, have him send Phil Martelli, associate head coach there. Remember him at St. Joseph's? He needed a gig. No Tim Miles for me, he says. All right, Phil Martelli's interesting. A lot of success at St. Joe's. This is from John. He says, I got to admire Weir for his stand-up ending at UNM. I also got to mention his last two games with walk-ons and fewer scholarship guys was more inspiring and better effort than all year. But yes, he walked out admirably, and I wish him well. Okay? I think the team's played really, really well the last bunch of games. I think they played really, really well. This is on Valdir Manuel. Lobo Hobo says, Jeff, on the pregame show, the current announcer said that Vlad was dealing with back spasms. Did you know that?
I didn't hear that. I missed the pregame.
I didn't know that either. All right, Ken, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care hotline. Hello, Ken.
Hello, guys. When you hire somebody like a Fran Fraschilla or a Steve Alford, there's a built-in excitement with that hiring, and then they have to go either validate it or earn it. And I don't think Fran Fraschilla earned it or validated it, but Steve Alford did. With somebody like Tim Miles, there is not a built-in excitement at all. So what he has to do is he has to come in and earn it. When he's first hired, it's going to just hit like a thud, and it's not going to increase ticket sales, but that doesn't mean he can't be successful and earn it. So, you know, when you make that initial hire, and it is a Steve Alford type of coach, and I know it's hard to get because you need to get money at them, you're going to increase ticket sales because people are very curious. They're very excited. But that doesn't mean Tim Miles can't earn it. But, he's just kind of this type of guy that is hard to take serious. You listen to his interviews, and, when you listen to Steve Alford's interviews, Steve Alford's a serious guy, and he is about winning, and you could see that in his interviews. So Tim Miles needs to come in if he is hired. He needs to come in. He needs to earn it. He needs to continue to climb up the Mountain West standings each year, and hopefully by his third or fourth year, he's competing for a conference championship. He has to beat like San Diego State in the pit, get that crowd going and get the excitement going. But he's definitely going to come in at ground zero, and he's going to have to earn the excitement because it is not built in. It's not priced into his hire at all because people are just not excited about, another Richie McKay type of hire, kind of goofy. That doesn't mean he can't do it, but he is going to have a hard time earning the respect and the excitement of these fans initially.
All right, Ken, appreciate it. So there's a few things there, right? Do you win the press conference? How important is it to win the press conference? And Eddie said, I'm not making this hire just to win the press conference. Now, is that part of the equation? To his point on especially coming out of COVID, to get people back. I think it's part of the equation, but it can't be the overriding factor. Can Tim Miles? Can Tim Miles win here? I think he could. Yeah, I think he could. Can he win at a higher level than he's won anywhere else? I don't know. I don't know. Has he developed players? And everybody's going to have a list of players that they developed, right? Does he have a history of developing players? I think Tim Miles will be out and promoting the goodwill of this program. He is gregarious. He is outgoing. He is funny. he's personable. All of those things, like he checks that box. I think he'll work his backside off. I do. Can he? You can't. You don't know if Mike Krzyzewski can win here, right? So this is such an uncertain, unexact science. His track record, right at Colorado State, it was 9-9. But again, you don't hold him. How did he get? Did he get better? He got better. He got better.
He won 7 games his first season, won 20 games his final season at Colorado State. So there was that progress, the steps forward you look at in a program, and that is exactly what New Mexico has to do, is progress to be a constant, at least in the top tier of this conference at this moment in time. But I do still understand the fan base talking just specifically about Tim Miles. It's the fine hire. It's like you bought, the Honda Civic. All right, it's
good
a nice car.
Good
it's
car, reliable.
But you're looking at it, you're like, don't want to put some rims on it. Don't want to put an exhaust system on it. And so that's to kind of Ken's point, is you got to earn that pop, that pizzazz, if you hire someone like Tim Miles.
All right, in his 7 years at Nebraska, he finished 4th in that league twice. Now, that league is premier, right? I mean, that's Ohio State and Michigan State and what Illinois is doing now and Purdue. And that's a damn good basketball league. He finished 4th twice. Well, Jeff, what else did he do? 10th, 12th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Okay. Did they get better? His last 2 years, they won 22 and 19 games. He never won less than 13 games there. His worst year was 13 and 18. No, I'm sorry, 12 and 19. 12 and 19. I'm not telling you Tim Miles can't do it. And there are worse hires than this. And just judging your excitement, and I say yours is it started off with a phone call today, and people kind of just ran with the Tim Miles thing. He's got a good reputation, I think, nationally, and I think you got that from what Jerry had to say about him. Can a guy come in here and not win the press conference and win? JJ, who's the last guy that was – I'm trying to think. Did Craig Smith win the press conference at Utah State? I don't know. Probably not, right? When he replaced – was it Tim Duryea?
Yeah.
We'll go. Yeah, we'll go. All right, thanks to Jerry Palm for being with us today from CBSSports.com. He'll be all over your TV today as well. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd follows that. Sports Bar this afternoon at 4 with Carlisle and Trulio. That's more local sports talk. We're back with more award-winning radio for you tomorrow morning. We will begin at 7 a.m. Josh, great work on the TV side as always. Sorry about the decreased shout-outs today, but we were pretty busy today with a lot of phone calls and stuff. Micah, excellent work. JJ, enjoy the day.
Have a day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, love, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
That ball stolen. Jeremy Segura.
Forward dribble, spin cycle, up and under move. What a pass, wrap around pass.
Harris, Legate, the long bomb, 3 ball.
Oh, great steal by Quinteros, lays it up and scores.
A whole little jump step in the... And look out, here comes Agbayosi. Crawford set. That's blocked. Lansing says, get that out of here. Sister to sister, Marianne Lansing's going to go all the way. Turnaround. Ramos, pump fake. Everyone bites. Ramos hits.
Jackson loses it. Taylor Bond back. LAU. Put it down. Dunkalicious. How about it?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter